is. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
What's going on, everyone? Let me fix this overlay. Welcome to Weekend Warriors. I am your host, Ryan Anderson, for the afternoon. We got Matt Miller shaking his head, joined by Patrick Kunzel, Chris Couples. Matt, we'll start with you. How's your day going as we kick off?
The world should have just seen the humor that went on here. So I'm in a shared office space with Beth, who came running in for a second before the show started and wanted to do something on her computer very quickly. And as the music for the countdown started, I just knew I'd be messing with her. So I start going, la, 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 la. And she turns around like, are you crazy? I'm like, I'm kidding, whatever. But she took me totally seriously. It was amazing.
That's fantastic. That's a great start. Chris Couples, thanks for joining us today. How are you doing?
Oh, doing great. Chasing Matt Miller around in a couple contests here. Had a bunch of free money show up in an account. I don't know where it come from. It's an odd Saturday so far.
Love to see it. Hope you're able to catch Matt, and Matt, hope you're able to extend the lead on Chris. Rooting for both sides. Dead heat, maybe? Patrick Kunzel, let's check in with you. How are you doing, my man?
All good, Ryan. Looking forward to being on with you guys for a little bit here. Haven't seen a lot of your faces lately on the airwaves. We've kind of been dodging each other, or no, we haven't been. But you know, I'm excited. This will be fun. Playing
some live stream tag, if you will.
Exactly.
Let's head out to Belmont at the Big A. We're 3 minutes away from the first graded stakes that we'll cover on today's Saturday. We got 4 at Aqueduct, and I believe we have 2 others at Churchill Downs. We'll dive into this one. We're going a mile and a half over the inner turf course. I'll go through the past performances. If that's cool with everybody. We'll start from the rail. It's a 5-horse field. We got El Cordobez, winner of the Sword Dancer, courtesy of a perfect trip from Flavien Prat that day. Johnny V booked to ride. This one, I mean, in my opinion, he qualified for the Breeders' Cup Turf last time. I have no reason to believe this horse is going to be, all the way cranked up for that winning effort, where some others are, likely trying to qualify here. Next up, we have the number 2 redistricting. Flavien Prat ends up taking this mount. This is kind of a tactical sort, and I would almost expect to see redistricting up on the front end as they go around. Rails are down over the inner turf. This one, kind of underexposed, I would say, in terms of company faced and kept. This is going to be a big class test, but you get Flavien Prat, Chad Brown, Clairvich Stables, currently 5-1, and that's mainly due because Rebels Romance is in this field. Breeders' Cup Turf winner, the oldest Breeders' Cup Turf winner last year, currently 1-5 is what I'm showing on DRF. Obviously a well-traveled 19-time winner, and I believe 8 different countries. I might want to fact check that one, but $14 million winner. I mean, this is just an absolute war horse for this 7-year-old gelding. Dances every dance. You have Rebel Red coming in here, deserved long shot. However, has shown some promise in the past and is certainly good at this 10 furlong distance that they'll be going today. And the last up is the number 5 Far Bridge. Bit of a quirky sort. Definitely likes to be inside on the rail. So we'll see what kind of trip Joel Rosario can work out from the post there. As I fix us here. Matt, we'll start with you. I know you're live in a few tournaments and a few plays. Why don't you walk us through what you're hoping to see here, and we'll touch on the rest of the panel as we get close to post time.
Sure. So a super quick rundown on the NYRA Bets tournament is I hit a nice 10-1 double. Not quite sure how those horses ended up paying that. Andy Serling, I think, said the same thing about at least the one with Nelson in his name.
Hurricane Nelson.
So I'm sitting in first at the moment, feeling pretty decent about it. I've made a couple of minimum plays to take care of those requirements. I did play the one in the tournament here. Yeah, Chris, I know you're in it. I don't care. Do with that what you want. Figure it out. But in cash, I actually thought this was a pretty playable sequence from a pick 5 perspective. I think my ticket was 3 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 1 for a cost of $240. I'm live to a $10 pick 5 with Rebels Romance. So, okay, one of two. I mean, if it's not the one or the 3 here, it just wasn't meant to be for me.
I will say if Rebels Red shows up with, I would argue, even a B effort here, he is just so much better than these on his best day. Only curious thing is that Pratt and Buick not on either of the Godolphin and Appleby mounts, which I thought was a little intriguing, but we'll see. They're getting close to loading in the gate. Chris, any thoughts from you? As we'll have the audio from
Rebels Romance is pretty good from what I hear. I don't totally trust Frankie, and as far as the contest goes, there's a handful of people that we could play on the screen together and not do anything with the information we had. We're two of them, so
with early speed, but we'll be
there we go. We're off in the race. You guys can hear the audio all right?
Command. Rebels Romance is right there to the outside as a stalking second. El Cordobus is going to drop back at the rail. It's now in third as they start to be patiently ridden now. And leader is redistricting. Flavia and Pratt and redistricting in front. Rebels Romance is right there to the outside, a close-up second. El Cordobus in third. Far Bridge broke with the leaders, is now back to the second to last position through a 24.78 posted opening quarter mile, and Rebel Red, Jose Ortiz, there the trailer. Redistricting starts to gallop, and its redistricting is up by a neck. Rebels Romance, the World Traveler, is within range, comfortable enough towards the outside, just watching redistricting, is now in the center of the course. Rebels Romance is ready to challenge and now will assert. Rebels Romance has now taken the lead, is up by a length and a half. So Rebels Romance will now lead with redistricting back to second. Tight hold here.
That's a bit interesting.
Wants to go for John Velasquez.
Interesting race tactics as Rebels Romance took the lead first time through the home stretch.
Far Bridge saving ground, gets over to the rail, and it's 49.26 for a half mile time. Rebel Red still the trailer. Rebels Romance made that mid-race move, 113.75 for 3/4 of a mile, and Rebels Romance is the target. Rebels Romance redistricting, switches to the outside, was the early leader, back to second within a length of the lead. Here comes Far Bridge. Ground saving journey wants to go, is at the rail, and Rosario is letting Far Bridge get a little more rain now as he moves in closer to the leader. Rebels Romance, still El Cordobus to the outside in fourth. And Rebel Red will have to pass them all in the grade one. Joe Hirsch Turf Classic and Frankie Dettori donning the Godolphin Blue is in front. And Rebels Romance will start the sprint for home. Redistricting is back within half length of the leader. Far Bridge is a presence towards the inside, just waiting for the cue. El Cordobus is called upon for the effort. Rebel Red is about to cut loose from the back end of the field. Rebels Romance is now sprinting for home. Rebels Romance is trying to opening up and just is doing that. It's Rebels Romance who's clear. El Cordobus redistricting Far Bridge. But look at Rebels Romance just opening up on this grade one field. Has a 16th left to go. No doubt it's going to be Rebels Romance dominant in the grade one Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. Rebels Romance wins it easily, redistricting second, then come El Cordobus and Far.
Nicely done, Mr. Matt Miller, on crushing a massive pick 5. You love to see it. Yeah, Rebels Romance, absolutely. Trounced him, I think, would be the right word.
Yeah, so where does he rank now? I don't know. To me, he's just pretty amazing.
He's a 7-year-old. He continues to just run horses off their feet, and he's got to be top 2 turf horses in the world. I only say top 2 because it would take me a minute to look through all the turf horses. And
I'm just wondering where he'd be at in history at this point.
Oh, in history,
he's. And you said pick 5. I put all these tickets in this morning because we're doing the show. I hadn't even thought about looking at the wheelbase.
So they were interesting, actually. And Ryan, if my memory's right from a text, you were alive to all.
I was.
I didn't think there was nearly as much variance from top to bottom in those will pays as I expected, given the presence of a massive favorite. I was kind of surprised how tight the one was, and it kind of, frankly, for a horse that's 1 to 5 in the win pool, it did make me a little nervous that maybe the smart money was in the multi-race pools playing these other horses, but no, sometimes they just don't have it right.
Yeah, sometimes they don't. But I was okay with those will pays, looking at them there. And I thought the race would be bet a little kind of similar to how the will pays panned out in terms of, less of a heavy favorite in the sequence bets, whereas Rebels Romance is going to take a ton of money. I just didn't want to trust them. I had 2 other singles earlier on that I liked. Well, that's the first graded stakes that we'll cover. We have a nice maiden race coming up at Churchill, so I'll get that up on the screen for everybody. We're going a mile for the 2-year-old maiden special weight variety. Chris and Matt, and actually Pat, we haven't heard from you in a little bit. We'll be joined by Noah a little later on in the show, as he is going to be on site at Churchill Downs for the stake races. So we hope for him to join us from the paddock. Pat, let's start with you. Have you looked at the Churchill races today? Any thoughts on race number 5 here?
Yeah, we covered this sequence on Betting and Boozing on what was that, Tuesday night. So we covered races 7 through 11. Taking a look here, though, in race 5, are a couple horses that are coming out of a lot of Saratoga maiden races, a couple in here, I should say. And just looking back on those two, I thought the Mark Caskey filly, America the Great, did improve a little bit, running second to Steer Clear, who's a pretty nice horse for Todd Pletcher. And I thought, obviously, the odds reflect that now off that improvement third time out. I think that horse, she's definitely the horse to beat off that last effort.
Yeah, without a doubt. America the Great, she does continue to get better as she races. Second last time out with her career best Beyer speed figure, you mentioned, behind Steer Clear. It feels like these mile races, they're going to be tough to win first time out. I do want to talk real quick before I turn it over to Chris Couples and to Matt. The number 6, Just Singing, an expensive purchase for J.K. Sweezy, ridden by the Axeman. That work on September 21st was lights out. I mean, it was so good. That being said, Sweezy is not very good first time out. This is a horse I'm interested to see how she runs, but I'm certainly not going to bet her. But the price right now, 11-1. If you do like her and you do want to take a little bit of a flyer, she seems to have some ability. And the dam has produced some winners, none on debut, but a half to Danzing Candy, who's obviously a very good Calbred sire now, who was once trained by Bob Baffert. But Chris, we'll go to you first, and then over to you, Matt. Any thoughts on this race, and if you guys have given it any look before we go through the past performances?
Yeah, the 3 Patrick mentions the horse to beat. The 7 runner of Cox's, 3 works, nice out, nothing negative each time. And of course, it's Brad Cox. You got IRAD up. I had them 2 as A's. I didn't use the 6 you talked about, but I did like those works as well. Same point. You just don't do too well first time starters. And the 10 for Brown, that casual gallop around the racetrack work. You really don't know what to expect, but the price right now on that horse is absolutely insane. The workmate to this one ran 3rd Thursday or Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I know I wouldn't be jumped in line to bet this horse because I just like the other 2 better, but 19-1 is a crazy price.
Yeah, 19-1, crazy price indeed. We'll go through. Actually, Matt, we'll turn to you. Any Churchill contests today that we got to pay attention to, or any looks into this field?
No, there's a good one. So this is one of those where I've won my way in. So anything I cash is profit, and that kind of changes the calculus a little bit. I did, with my first play, push all in with both entries on the same 6-5 shot that won. So I have 2 entries right now sitting in about 3rd. And this one pays BC spots and other pretty good stuff. So we'll see. I'm just playing a minimum here, and it feels to me like this 3 is enough of a standout. I just bet him to show. I don't necessarily know that my current total is going to be good enough for later, but I think this is a decent capital preservation play. This 3 does feel best. And as I looked at the will pays, the 3 is a clear favorite. The 7 is a clear second choice. And then it's a lot more muddled after that. So for what it's worth.
What do we got? 2 minutes here. Something Patrick mentioned about the horses coming from Saratoga. I'll share here. These are some stats collected on my own. There may be an error or 2, but I was curious about horses coming from Kentucky Downs and Colonial to Churchill. So I've been keeping up with it, and it's up to date as of end of yesterday. Like dirt races only. Kentucky Downs has had 33 runners. They got their first winner yesterday. Colonials had 34. They've got 4 winners. Horses from Saratoga, there's been 59 runners, several of them in the same races. So out of 53 races, they've won 19.
Wow.
It's been a pretty dominant, and that ain't counting your seconds and thirds. 19 wins, 8 seconds, 7 thirds. Many races, they might have 3 runners, and they run first, second, fourth, or something of that nature. The class shows up.
without a doubt. And that was an excellent point. I think there was a second runner today that did win from Kentucky Downs. On the dirt, it was Politics who won either race 4 or race 3. I believe
that would be race 3 because that canceled one of my entries as they went very, very slow.
Yes. For Eclipse Thoroughbreds, they went very slow. I bet the 4, and then I got beaten by Politics. It's the only reason I know that horse is from Kentucky Downs, is because I wanted to look up where that horse was. All right, now we will go through the past performances as I was doing some looking at one of the dams whose name looked familiar. We'll start from the rail horse. Will Walden trains this one, who has been, damn near unstoppable in a lot of his races. He obviously has a very nice turfer in Rhetorical. This one's a first-time starter by Upstart. 2-year-old filly, not taking a whole lot of money, but he does fire first time out frequently. This one coming from Saratoga, if you just paid attention to those stats, brought to you by Chris Couples. This one is a second-time starter for Steve Asmussen. He can certainly get better as the runners improve. Keith Asmussen rode a nice winner at 8-1 yesterday. America the Great, we've talked about this one. Very deserving favorite. Current odds are even money as they are getting close to the gate. Number 4, Josie Joe. Riley Mott trains this one by Uncle Mo. Louis Saya is on to ride for Bregman Family Racing. Obviously, Alex Bregman, baseball player. Just Singing, we talked about. Some strong works leading into this debut, but Sweezy, maybe not the best. Kentucky Belle, another one by Justified. This one's dam was all, this one's only sibling to hit the racetrack was all turf. Maybe you can kind of get some spicy exactas by fading the 7, knowing that, maybe turf breeding is more in the family, especially with that Justify as the sire. Shot at Perfection. Didn't do a whole lot of running on debut, but certainly for Ian Wilkes, he can improve him second, third time out. Number 9, Dreaming of June for Kenny McPeak. He's had a razor hot. He's been razor sharp. I don't know. He's had a razor sharp start with his 2-year-olds recently. I believe he's 8 of 31 up at New York, but maybe he can transfer that down here as well. And lastly, Chad Brown, Christian Torres for Peter Brandt interview down at post position 10. Tap it, and they are off. So we'll listen to the audio.
Or not. Ryan, we're not listening to audio.
Oh, all right. Sorry. 1 second. It's a little finicky. Let's see if I can fix it here.
Beautiful picture of the PPs. Hi, Patrick.
Yes.
Hello, man.
I wish my television was of any help.
Better?
Like a full minute behind.
Are we better or no?
No, we don't.
Nope.
All right.
Okay, well, you just got to call it then.
I know.
He can do it.
I know. I just did it.
Shot at Perfection has made some progress. River.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, top of the stretch. America the Great looks like it just hit the lead at even money, is going by the 2-horse slowly. 2's fighting back kind of nicely. They've gotten some separation on the field. The 4 is coming on a little bit. The 3 is now clearly pulling ahead of the 2. My show bet is looking terrific. A little bit of commentary. Long stretch here. 3 is still winning. Now the 2's fading and the 4 is coming on and the 7's coming on. 3, 4, 7. Yay.
There we go. Thank you, Matt, for the call there. I have no idea why the audio decided to not work this time, as it had just worked in the past, but that's technology for you. But that's all right.
Do me a favor. Can you just package that up in a little media file, and we can send that around if any job openings? For,
there we go. Yes, I will.
Really solid to me. But
I would love to hear your race calls out at Delmar.
That was it. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
You can go ahead and call your agent, Matt, and consider it a done deal. All right, we got a little bit of time now before the next race at Belmont at the Big A. We will throw the past performances up for race number 6, as we are going to have a brief reprieve from the stakes action. Just kidding. No, we're not, because the Woodward is coming up next. I'm bad at counting races. Grade 2 Woodward is the next race on the screen. Matt, I want to ask you because, and then Chris as tournament players, this is a 3-horse field. So obviously betting options are a little bit limited after the scratches here, and I'll throw the past performances up so we can see. We'll look at post time first, and then we'll go to some of the rest. It's post time, it's Phileas Fogg, and it's locked. Matt, what do you do in a race like this where it's really just 3 horses? Phileas Fogg currently 3-5 on the board.
I did what I did last race, and with daily doubles, you can do a little better at juicing up your odds than just settling on the win pool in a 3-horse race. I got to tell you, for a 3-horse race, these odds aren't terrible. I expected much worse on some level. It just feels like everyone's going to be less than even money on these things. I don't think it's amazing. Months ago, if I told you were going to get even money on locked in any race, you probably would have been psyched. And then if I told you there were only 2 other horses, you'd think I was kidding. And I do happen to think locked at even money isn't too bad, but I'm with Howard on his power pick here. At 3-5, I don't think that's bad value on Phileas Fogg, or however you say that name. That is the horse I played in the doubles, and I'm looking at the will pays. And for $1, it's paying into the 6,438. So, okay, to get 3.3 to 1 on that combo of 2 horses, Rebel's Romance into Phineas, it feels like a pretty good deal to me. And that would be one way. The other way to do it would be trying to catch the exact of cold here. I can check real quickly to see. Is there an exact even? There may not even be one. There is not.
Let me see. There is not.
No, so you're really stuck. You could play. Now you're looking at 4-5 and even money. So my guess is most handicappers out there have enough of an opinion between these 2 horses that they can pick one. And I don't think you're getting paid terribly to get essentially a coin flip here.
I agree. I think a horse like Phileas Fogg, obviously the favorite because this horse looks absolutely loose in here. And again, that last out effort in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, we all know what happened in there with some wild happenings after the start. But now comes back, still ran very well in there for what it's worth, and just looks like the horse to come and catch. I wonder personally if Johnny V on Locked is, obviously he's aware it's a 3-horse field. Post time from the inside doesn't have a whole lot of speed. Locked used to have some 7 furlong speed, when he came fresh off the bench in that optional 2 or optional non-2 other than last October, almost a year ago. So he's had the ability in the past to get forward, and I wonder if maybe Johnny gets him a little more into the race. But you'd have to imagine Kendrick is going to just kind of send like a banshee out of there to get an uncontested lead and stretch that field out early. But I guess we'll see. Chris Couples, I'll go to you before I go to Pat. Any thoughts on this 3-horse Woodward?
For me, these are pretty let down. Weird things happen in the 3-horse field.
Hold on, time out. That was unbelievable what I just saw. Did anybody else see that?
I've seen something, but I didn't catch it all.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. So Ryan hit.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw.
In the chat, you guys can pick which of those heads you want to watch as you listen to Chris talk.
Yeah, that's some superpower you have there,
isn't it?
But for me, I see many times when you get these condensed fields where odd things happen, so I try to avoid them. But like Matt's on, I'm going to watch these pools at the end, and if I see an opportunity, because Lock can win, yes, but in a 3-horse field, I want the tactical speed, and I want Kendrick, because no matter what happens, Kendrick's not going to quit. Mm-hmm. And if I see a way I can put Kendrick over Locked and make money, I will try it. Yeah,
absolutely. Kendrick is he's not going to shy away from letting a speed horse do what a speed horse does best. Yeah. Pat, we'll go back to you. Thoughts on this race, and then we'll go into the past performances for the 3 of these.
Yeah. As we dig into the past performances, obviously we'll see the bias that Phileas Fogg's going to have on the lead with the other 2 horses in here. But guys, I just can't get away from Locke's last 2 races. They were just bad, and I don't know. I think he could be going in the wrong direction, and I'm just not sure I can back him, especially in this spot. As you know, 4 other horses decide to go to Delaware Park, and 3, and the other one decides to run at Churchill. We can argue that as we please, but yeah, no, I'm against Lockton here, but I have no strong opinion. As Chris said, these 3-horse fields get interesting very early.
They do. Tactics are interesting without a doubt. Locked in post time strictly just don't have the early speed that Phileas Fogg has. I think even if they were to make it a jockey's race, I think Kendrick would have to do something wrong and take the speed away from Phileas Fogg and, let everybody into the race for this to not be, them kind of going single file down the backstretch. Because, Phileas Fogg definitely has that ability to just kind of stretch horses out. Had a 3-length lead last time halfway through the race in the Suburban, had a 2-length lead early. That was going 1.25 miles. He's run the 1.8 distance very successfully in the past with 2 wins and a second over this distance. We'll go down and talk about Post Time, the ever-consistent horse who, for the first time in his career, 2 back in the Whitney, was out of the trifecta, so that streak is over. But that being said, came right back in the Polynesian over a sloppy surface last time out and won by 17 lengths. He faced absolutely nobody in there. Has come out of that race to work well, had a nice bullet at Fair Hill, I believe, on September 20th. So he came out to work right. Again, this is just an ever consistent horse, but with no exactas, no place, no really just win and then horizontal bets only. You either got to watch the race for what it is, or you can make and press up an opinion. Phileas Fogg is the next one who we've talked about a lot. Obviously, going to stretch that speed out. His last 2 numbers, I think, run away versus this group. And it is a 3-horse field, but it is a quality 3-horse field to all of your points where you get some really good runners in here. Last, we'll talk about Locked. And yeah, Pat, you nailed it on the head. Those last 2 races don't enthuse at all. I have no idea what's happened to the form of this horse. This horse came back, in last October, won that race, came right back to win the Cigar Mile, came back to run a really nice second behind a mind-boggling performance from Wide Barrio in the Pegasus World Cup, and then went out to the West Coast to the Big Cap and ran away with that field over a mediocre field in behind. But you had Express Train, you had Hit Show who won out in, I believe, Maidan. Came back in the Ali Sheba, didn't really run a step in that race, and then in the Suburban really didn't run a step either. He just kind of went out for a jog around there, and he was 3rd the entire time and really didn't really do much of anything. So I wonder if he can get back on track. I wonder if maybe they haven't quite figured this horse out. I really don't know what to make of this runner, because it's not often you see Pletcher have a horse that's in such good form and then just loses it completely. But this horse has apparently not had his mind on running lately.
Yeah, even his works have not looked good recently.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And he's been not at the races, where that's not something that was really typical of him, given he missed almost a year going back to after the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. But he was always able to string 4 or 5 races together in the past, and now he's kind of had those layoff lines in each of the last 3 races. So I wonder if he's maybe not exactly the same horse. So we'll see. We have, let's see, how many minutes to post are we? About 6 minutes to post out at Belmont at the Big A. Let's take that off, and we'll just talk about the other races we have going on. We'll cover some Santa Anita today. No live racing from there. We might show a little bit of Woodbine later. I think they have a stakes race later on in their day, unless I'm confusing that with tomorrow. But we'll talk about as we look forward to this weekend. We have next weekend, which is opening weekend at Keeneland. I will be there with Jackson, with Howard, obviously with Lil Broa Maher. So excited to get out there with everyone. Matt, as I understand it, you'll be there in 2 weeks out there for no, you will not be.
I don't think so. And good life lesson for the youngsters out there. You can't make every trip. And it just feels like with a wife who's really cool about this stuff these days, she doesn't really have to push back. I could just kind of tell when it's too many. And we got that Killer Breeders' Cup trip coming up, and I don't want to mess with that at all. So I'll just let this one go and pick up the next one.
I like it. Hey, it's all about
Got to pick your spots.
Yep,
Yep.
gotta pick your spots. It's much like betting; you gotta pick your spots.
Yep.
Pat, will you be out there in a couple of weeks?
No, I will not. I'm going to be picking my spots as well, and going to take a pass on Keeneland for this one. I always set aside the spring meet for the Grade 1 gamble, so that's my Keeneland trip, annual Keeneland trip.
I like it. Chris Couples, last up. Will you be out there for Keeneland this meet?
Yeah, me and the wife's gonna make the next 2 weekends, which I think might be bunching our fun. I don't know if I can handle 2 weekends in a row, but I'm gonna try.
There we go. Well, I'll certainly see you next weekend as I get out there. We convinced Jackson Muniz to make the trip with us after more convincing than I thought it would take, but we all got out there ready. All right. As we look forward to the rest of the day, don't be too specific because I know you guys are in tournaments, but as you guys kind of look at either cards, whether it's Belmont at the Big A or Churchill, do you have kind of your next play in mind, or do you go into the day having already had that? I know some strategies may vary, I guess would be the best way to put it.
I'll take that one first.
What
I
is it?
wonder if do we have the ability to see if Kenneth Jordan is watching this show?
Anybody seen Kenneth?
Kenneth Jordan in this NYRA bets contest, I had a pretty decent total up there. This is like deja vu with last week, and he put up a massive number. And now I'm sitting here trying to decide, do I just sit here and take second, or at least try to fight to keep second place, or do I throw it down and say, it worked last week, let's do this again? I opted in favor of throwing it down. So bets are made. I'm all in here. 3-horse race. So, okay, we'll see what happens.
I like it, but again, there's not a huge favorite in here. It's still even money at the last click for both Phileas Fogg and Locked, which, I mean, just for lack of a better word, that's fantastic. Depending on who you like in here. Lock taking this money, I can't tell if it's sneaky or if it's just because of the 3-horse race. And if you don't like Phileas Fogg, it's tough to like Post Time because you have to put Post Time above Locked. So maybe that's kind of where the bettors have ended up. I'm very curious to see how this race pans out. The next race that we'll be talking about after this one, it's 12:05, so it'll be out at Churchill Downs. 6 furlong, 2-year-old, $150,000 maiden claimer. The rail horse is named Noah's Pride, but we'll get to the rest of them a little bit later. But for anybody playing namesakes like Noah, I know that's how he bases most of his handicapping. So I wish he was here, but I hope he goes and hammers Noah's Pride out in Louisville where he is right now. All right, let's see if we can get the audio working this time. No promises, of course, as technology is only sometimes on our side, but. Few minutes to post. Let's talk about the Belmont Turf Sprint that happened a little bit ago. That was race number 4, so the race that preceded Rebels Romance's dominating win. Did either of you have any strong opinions in there? Obviously, there was a heavy favorite in 26 Black, but those turf sprints can be a little bit finicky. Pat, I'll actually start with you on this one. Any thoughts in that in the graded Belmont Turf Sprint?
Yeah, I did like 26 Black in there. I don't know. I don't know if you guys got to see that race, but 26 Black kind of just got the trip and never could just not really get going in the lane. I thought when I believe Pratt was on. Yeah, Pratt was on. I thought when he got in the lane, he was going to be able to just go on with it. But yeah, he just didn't really have it. And this turf division in New York for the sprinters it's a little rough right now.
It is. Obviously, you have one horse at the top of that list in Bring the Band Home for Mark Casse. But behind that, you don't really have too much. And 26 Black, who was your favorite in that race, recently ran second behind Bring the Band Home at Saratoga. And, I mean, I got to wonder if that – I mean, it doesn't necessarily flatter the form because, as Pat, as you mentioned, really no excuse in there. Allegan won from about a 3-wide stalking trip going 6 furlongs on the grass, which you rarely see out in New York. But I was okay with that result as I had 2-4 in there. I was trying to beat one of the favorites along the way, so we're all right there. Chris, did you have any opinions in the graded Belmont Turf Sprint as we're a minute to post out at Belmont?
Like Patrick, I was surprised 26 Black didn't fire a bigger shot, but just in a theory, thinking about it on paper, there's not a lot of pace in there. And 26 Black is tactical. He can set back, make a run if there's pace, or you can get him a bit closer. He's got more speed. And we're never going to be able to ask Pratt this, but I think it's possible Pratt thought there's no pace in here. I need to be closer, and that just let 26 Black get run off his feet a little bit, and he didn't have that same closing kick.
Mm-hmm. I think that's an excellent point. Matt, how about you? I can't remember if you enjoy betting turf sprints or if you like to pass on them.
Oh, those don't bother me at all. And for purposes of the betting I didn't really have a tournament play, but I had made those pick 5 bets. One of my bets was a $10 that went through Allegan. One of them was a $20 that went through the 3 to 5 shot. And so between those two, I was very happy with the price that I got. But I did think from at least 2 hours before, the race kind of stood out for those two.
I like it. Does anyone have any thoughts going into the following race number 7 at Belmont at the Big A, if they were to play any doubles? I'd also start to pick 4, but if you were to play any doubles, does anyone have any thoughts on the following race, which is a 1.16 miles for the fillies and mares, 2-year-olds, or fillies, I'm sorry, state breds on the grass?
Nope.
Yeah, wouldn't be 2 races I'd look, because I'm pretty spready in the next, and coming out of a 3-horse field, I don't think there's anything you could just really, really lean on.
That's very fair. I personally have an opinion that I'll love to share now. I like the 4 Atenia. Yikes, I have no idea how you pronounce the name. But there's 3 common runners coming out of a race. The numbers are 7, 8, and 9. The names Solemn Beauty, Live in the Breeze, Cosmic Candy Girl. None of them appeared to do a whole lot of running in that race. I'll get the audio on as they're loading into the gate. Can we hear this?
Last to load.
Yeah, you're good.
Amazing.
Vasquez is
All right.
a 1 1/8 miles. Grade 2, the Woodward, 72nd running. All set.
This should be the easiest race to call. We got to hope the sound didn't work for this race.
I wonder if we'll talk about the weather.
Fog flew out of the gate and locked.
I would think the biggest issue is having something to talk about.
Right.
5 path.
Nothing like that walkover at Remington.
Wide here into that first turn, starts to move in closer to the rail.
That's like running into the
Fog
park.
is about 5 wide on the turn,
up
by
top,
the way.
free running, and is up by a quick 4.
Didn't
So
make the
you're
same
ahead of
mistake.
me.
Gonna travel in tandem there with
Could be.
Post Time. Who's the trailer as they're working around the turn now? Phileas Fogg, still well kept off the rail. Is comfortable enough for Kendrick Carmouche, and Phileas Fogg will take him to the backstretch. Phileas Fogg went that opening quarter mile in 24. And 4 is unopposed, is 4
Not
lengths
that
in front
fast.
of Locked, who's a
What's that, Matt?
second now.
It's
is
not that
comfortable.
fast.
And Post
It's
Time
not.
at
And they're a little bit far back already.
Fogg,
And-
no excuses.
And I know he's wide, but at this
Still doing
point,
it easily.
Kendrick's wide for a
Post
reason.
Time, who doesn't
Yep.
want to let those leaders get away, is under a tight hold here for Sheldon Russell. And Kendrick Carmouche with a long look over his left shoulder to see where the back 2 markers are. 48.69 for a half mile time.
Locked
and
is being
Phileas
asked
Fogg
to pick it
still
up
is
already.
bowling right along. Locked is now confronted by Post Time, and they start to cut into the margin now as they're well into the turn. Phileas Fogg is the target, but still a confident Carmouche has him in hand. Carmouche takes another look back. Phileas Fogg is approaching a quarter mile left to go. Locked is all in towards the inside. Post Time is trying to rally onto the outside. 112 flat for 3/4. And now Phileas Fogg has asked for his full effort. Phileas Fogg and Locked is calling on that class towards the inside. Post Time is trying to run this rival down up for long left to go. Phileas Fogg gets closer to the rail, and now Locked will have to switch paths, and Locked is in full pursuit. He is locked in now. Locked to the outside to push on by. Locked wins the Grade 2 Woodward.
I do
Wow.
think Kendrick made a rare mistake that he really couldn't help there.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
When he went inside and forced Lock outside, that became an issue. If you keep Lock pinned on that rail, he may not come through the hole.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
he may anyway. But
I completely agree. Kendrick was wide the entire race and then decided to go down to the rail towards the end.
well, he
Hey.
got a little close to it. Then when Phineas changed leads, it just pushed him over enough.
Well, Locked is back to his winning ways. He hasn't seen the winner's circle since the big cap earlier this year, but finally got back. And I got to say, that's I mean, not surprising. He did call on the class that horse has. And for what it's worth, Post Time made it in the trifecta once again.
You know, I was going to make a joke before about that being guaranteed, but then I was going to get blamed for something really awful if it happened. I didn't want to say a word about that.
Yep, I was thinking the exact same. Decided to leave it until the race was finished. All right, let's pop out to Churchill Downs. We're 8 minutes away from race number 6. Past performances are up on the screen. 2-year-olds, as I mentioned, going 6 furlongs.
So let's back up. Let's back up for 1 second. So my NYRA bets contest is now done. That was a full push on the 6. But this is one of those times where I'm looking at the fixed payouts of a tournament and what cash can do for you on the side. And so knowing that the winning tournament, you know, whoever wins that tournament, I think is going to get $2 grand.
Mm-hmm.
My solution there was to bet the $1,000 I had on the 6 horse in the tournament, figuring I'm now going to cash hopefully $3,500 if it wins. I bet $2,500 in cash to win on Locked. So strangely, I kind of flipped the whole thing, figuring I could get away right now with a huge win without having to worry about the rest of this, or I can just bet the favorite and then hope to win the tournament. So 0 problem with the disappearing act. Good shit. All right,
I like it. That's good.
And potentially move up a spot.
There you go. So yeah, making room for friends. There you go.
There we go. I love it. Past performances are up on the screen. We'll go through it. We're going 6 furlongs. The 2-year-olds made $150,000 claimers. Starting from the rail, Noah's Pride, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. This one was 3rd at Colonial in an off-the-turf effort on debut, then went to the turf last time. Really didn't have much. Now in for the $150,000 tag. I do like these claiming races, by the way, because, you know, it's not as if a lot of people are going to claim these $150,000 horses. Or put a claim in for them rather, but it helps you avoid those, you know, monsters that you'll run into a lot of times in these 2-year-old maiden races. So it kind of gives them a chance to run, and even if you're for a claiming tag. Next we have Fuoco Vivo, Rohan Crichton, Julian Leperoux. This colt by Flame Away out of a Candy Ride mare. Currently around 10-1. You have Emancipation for the Eclipse Thoroughbred partners who just won the Woodward. Wayne Catalano, the Catman, second time out, a lot better than first time out. This one debuted at Ellis, lost to Fuel, Zamboni, and some others that day. This one I thought was a little bit interesting. Second time out for Independence Hall. That's a pretty fun. That's a creative name to get Emancipation out of an Independence Hall or by an Independence Hall colt. All right. Next up, we'll go to the number 4. It's Wolf Camp. This one debuted on turf for William Brett Calhoun. Blinkers on, second time up. Some good works coming in. Calhoun's had a couple runners earlier. No luck quite yet, but Wolf Camp hopes to get him on the board today. This one's by Tacitus. Chicanery, I believe. Another one for Calhoun. Maximus Mischief, who is pretty good with his first-time starters. This one had a nice bullet work on September the 15th over the Churchill Downs track. This one comes in here. Gabe Saez aboard to ride. We got somebody in the waiting room. It's none other than the Funkle. It's Howard Kravitz. Howard, what's going on?
What's up, everyone? How you guys doing?
Great.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Real quick, and I'll get off the air. I just want to say something about that last race. Well, 2 things. Kendrick effed up big time. And Chris, I'm going to disagree with you, actually. It's not because of what he did late. It's because of what he did early. That was a perfect example of a guy that doesn't look to his outside. He floated wide on the first turn, guys, because he figured Locked was outside of him, and that was the main competition. And then he turns around, and he's like, oh, wait, Locked is not there. Guys, he lost 2.5 lengths on the first turn for no damn reason. And look, I do not criticize Jocks too much, but I'm angry because I had a little bit of a win bet on Phileas Fogg, and he was a spot play for us. That was a first turn mistake, not a last turn mistake. I actually don't mind him coming over to the rail, Chris, at the end and forcing Locked to sort of switch paths, which in theory he'd lose more ground than just coming up the inside. So my issue was on the first turn, guys. I don't know if you have any opinion on that, but that was a major mistake. Why lose ground on the first turn when you're by yourself? That's completely ridiculous.
The only thing I could think of, Howard, I agree with you entirely. The only thing I could think of is if he really believed that part of the track was harder or better But otherwise,
the first two races haven't shown that, though, Matt.
No.
Like, I agree with you, but there's no bias today.
No, I agree with you. I think he got fooled just like you did. I think he thought he was floating locked wide, and he wasn't.
Maybe.
No doubt. The other thing I want to throw is if Locked has enough grade 6 earnings to go to the Breeders' Cup Classic, which I'm assuming he does now.
I think he does.
If you were Pletcher, would you go? I mean, he's got mind frame already and fierceness in theory, right?
Antiquarian too.
Antiquarian too, yeah.
So I guess the question is, Pat, is where do you go with him? Like, what do you do next with him, in your opinion?
I don't go. I don't think he's good enough, and I don't think Pletcher. I don't think he goes.
Yeah,
I'll tell you where I think he should go, guys. It's to the Clark Thanksgiving weekend. That's where I would go with him. I'd rest him up. There's no reason to run the Breeders' Cup. He's not good enough, although he did run better than I thought today. That's where I would go. Anyway, I just want to make that point in the first turn, guys, because I'm all in to congratulate jockeys when they have great rides, and most of the time in this show, that is what I'll do. Guys, that was a major mistake. And people can disagree, but when you lose by half a length because you're in the 4 path for no reason on the first turn, because you don't look to see where your main competition is, that's what it looked like to me. Anyway, I'll let you guys discuss some more. Great job. I'll be back on a little bit later. Keep it up, Ryan. Have fun,
thank
guys.
you, Howard.
Take care.
Thank you.
And as always, Howard makes great points, but this all goes back to that 3-horse race, and odd things happen, and I just avoid it.
Davey Lane might have had the best comment as it relates to this. Just follow the jockey. Johnny V over Kendrick Carmouche. I mean, Johnny is a Hall of Famer. He knew, and I mean, I think we both agree that at some point during the race, Kendrick made a mistake there because
he may have made several.
He may have made several. Maybe it was going too wide early and then going inside late. And I personally think he should have stretched them out a little bit more. That horse easily going 9 furlongs has 23-second speed. If you do that, you leave everybody else 12+ lengths behind. Then you can slow it down a little bit and go. I know hindsight's 20/20, but in my opinion, that's not how you use a speed horse. Opening, you really got to let them use that speed early. Put everybody else in that chase mode.
Well, and we commented at some point. He was starting to do that. At some point they were starting to get a little far away. Yeah, I think those jocks saw that, and he let them close that gap instead of extending it further. I think if he extended it further, they might have hit a panic point at some point. I don't know.
I agree. I think that Kendrick, when he rides the speed horses, he does it very similarly almost every time. When he gets into the far turn, then he opens them up as they kind of enter into that. That's where he kind of creates that separation. But against the field where the horse is classy as Locked, it pretty much engaged him into the race at that point. And I completely agree. I think maybe the ride was a little bit in question there. But either way, Locked back on top for, Eclipse Thoroughbred, who, I mean, they've had quite the year. I don't know how many grade 1s they've won, but they are they are nonstop in their quest. So as we approach the gate at Churchill Downs, I don't know if any of you guys have tournament plays. Pat, I'll check in with you. I know you covered some races out at Churchill, if I'm remembering correctly. What were your thoughts on this race as we're loading into the gate?
Yeah, I guess I wasn't doing my job correctly because in race 7, I liked the 8, Mo Expectation, so I just realized scratch. So I was looking to play some doubles into that horse, considering this betting board is wide open here in race 6. Listen, if I had to, I'd probably, honestly, I'm going to try and find like a price in here. I know what the favorite's 4-1 right now, but I think there's a couple in here that are a little bit better of a price. I think the 11 actually 15-1 is kind of interesting for Edgar Morales and Mark Cassie from the outside. Obviously that's not the greatest of draws, but this is an interesting level race, right? I mean, what is this, $150,000 maiden claimant race?
Yeah. Can we hear
They're in the gate.
Can we hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Amazing. All right.
And they're off. The first out of there, Noah's Pride. Chicanery comes on, grabs second. Elios is out in third. Emancipation is away racing fourth. Foco Vivo comes through toward the rail fifth. And then it's McFasty on the far outside, moving up into sixth. Miskell's right there, seventh. Banker's Jet comes through toward the inside eighth. Way beyond is ninth by 3. Wolf Camp is 11th, just inside of trouble with the curve.
and Blue Mountains is the last of them all. 22 seconds flat for the first quarter. Noah's Pride leads the way. Chicanery pressing for the lead, and Chicanery grabs it. Midway round the far turn, Chicanery's in front. Noah's Pride under pressure. Fuoco Vivo comes off the rail, now racing third. Elio starts to rev up with Mick Fasty. In behind them is Banker's Jet. Emancipation cut the corner off the turn. It's anyone's race heading for the 8th pole. Mick Fasty's coming. Emancipation down inside coming as well. Green is way beyond, but way beyond is closing. Banker's Jet checked. Final 16th. Mick Fasty comes away with the lead. Way beyond and Emancipation coming hard. Here comes way beyond after Mick Fasty. Photo finish. Way beyond and Mick Fasty on the wire. And then it was
very close finish there between the 14 and the 10. I don't want to call that one.
Outside.
All right. That was sorry, go ahead, Matt.
That's what Chris says. Outside, we had a 10-1 and a 5-1. That was a crazy finish.
Watching the replay right now off the screen, I'll let you guys know. Let's see. Pat, we were going to talk about the race coming up that's going to start the late pick 5 at Churchill. You had mentioned that you liked the 3. I was also a fan of the 3, and that does look like the outside got a pretty nice bob in the number 10, whose name is Way Beyond. For Keith Asmussen, Steve Asmussen, they look to get a victory in this spot. Pat, as we kick off the late pick 5 and about a race here at Churchill Downs, who caught your eye in that first leg?
Yeah, I was actually on the 8, Mo Expectations. That's the horse I had on top. I really liked that replay last out. That late kick that she showed was pretty impressive there at Horseshoe Indy. I ended up with Table Flirt in second. They were trying to figure out what she really liked to do. Obviously, they've had her on the dirt for the last 4 times, but that wasn't kind of the intention. I mean, 2 back they were supposed to be on the dirt, but Saratoga, the weather came in. So and ran pretty well. Is run fine on the dirt. I just expecting this horse to run much better. Got a workout on the turf at Saratoga. So I feel like Bill Mott is really intending to run this horse on the turf in this spot specifically. Hoping going into the winter that they figure out what she exactly wants to do. So I think the board's going to be a little interesting now. I think Scatitude will probably be your favorite, right? But with Mo Expectations out, it's definitely going to spread things out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very happy to play against Scatitude in that spot. You have one monster race at Kentucky Downs, and I mean that's pretty much it. Other than that horse looks rather pedestrian compared to everybody else. So I'm going to take a bit of a shot with the 3, whose name is escaping me. Let me go look that up.
Next up,
real quick here. Next up, yes, for a jockey who I don't typically bet in, Mario Gutierrez. However, since moving his tack to Kentucky, he's been a lot better, a lot more consistent. I like the rides he's given. He had a really nice Ellis Park meet, so I'll hang my hat on Mario Gutierrez in race number 7. However, let's go out to Belmont at the Big A. We're 13 minutes away from race number 7, which isn't a stake race, but it is significant as it kicks off a double carryover pick 6 opportunity at Belmont at the Big A for the 2nd week in a row. I'll throw the past performances up here on the screen. I might be looking at the wrong race here. We're going to start us off. We'll go in race number 7, which I mentioned is a 2-year-old filly state-bred maiden special weight race going the mile and a 16th. Quickly before we go into the sequence, I was just going to kind of go through every race and then see opinions if any of you guys had them. So I'll kind of turn it over to each and every one of you as we go on. We're going a mile and a 16th, as I mentioned, over the grass. Horse number 2 named Ryan Elizabeth, but I will not be putting my focus there. I'll go with the number 4, Atenia, who I like, along with the number 10, Considerate City. 2 horses that I think showed a lot of promise in their first 2 races on the grass, and aren't coming out of that common 2-year-old race that I don't believe was really won by anybody too strong. Matt, do you have any thoughts here? And then we'll just go across the panel.
I do. I'm pretty sure you guys have a girlfriend I'm familiar with. Did you look at the name on the 8 by any chance?
Oh, Liv in the oh shoot.
Are you really leaving Liv off your ticket at this point?
Shoot, you're right. You're right. I forgot that no matter what. Okay, so now I will be including the 8 on my tickets.
Come on, I hope she's not watching. I mean,
she's not. I can almost promise you she's preparing for a test for her doctorate program. So, fortunately enough, you have saved me, Matt. Now I can say that I bet a horse with her name in it.
All right.
So I will include the 8. Good.
And by the way, it's a reasonable pick. It's not like you're throwing in a 30.
It actually is. It is a reasonable pick because this one closed into a hot pace last time behind Bloomington. Excuse me. Flavian Pratt aboard today. Matt, any thoughts on this race other than the namesake of Liv to go on?
Well, it's interesting. This is the kind of race for me where I'd either like to take a single if I can, or do the exact opposite and spread to just about everybody. We like you get some reliability of the tote board for the first leg of a multi-race sequence, and you don't get that benefit for every leg. And so you almost want to overweight it here. But as you do that, there's really only a couple of horses that stand out. So are you going to take, it wouldn't kill someone if you took the 8 and the 9. I don't think you're destroying that. You're probably still creating value with that. But to me, an 11-to-1 shot, whatever, a 10-to-1 shot to kick off a sequence has disproportionate value. It's going to pay a lot more in that sequence than 10-to-1 because people feel so much smarter that they see that there's 2-to-1 shots. So if you're not, I guess the point is if you're not really sure and don't have a solid pick, this would not be the spot where I would take a stand. I'd spread out. Maybe I'd press up a little extra with those couple horses, but I would try to spread out and focus up later.
I like that. Chris, we'll go to you next, or actually Pat, because we'll go in order top to bottom. Pat, so when you're playing a pick six, in your opinion, is it so much about ticket structure or handicapping? Because both of those things can be a little bit different. I know day to day, or race by race rather, definitely depends on how you, you have to be right on your opinions. But in a race like the pick six, it's about kind of creating your separation where you can. So in your opinion, is ticket structure or handicapping more important?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think you got to do your handicapping first to find that, I may be single or, a stronger opinion and go from there. That's kind of how I would go about, making a ticket, especially if, you're doing it on your own and you have to budget a little bit. But obviously if it's a group ticket, there's kind of different ways you can go about it with press ups and things like that. So, I don't play too many pick sixes unless I'm playing it with a group and I have a feeling, or I do know that a group is playing one today. And I actually just saw the text that the tickets are in. So, that's kind of my answer for you on, it's definitely take your opinion and then use that for how you're going to structure the ticket.
I like that. Let's take that statement and go into you, Chris. Do you have any strong opinions in this pick six sequence? We also have a gentleman backstage who's been listening this entire time, who I know is playing this double pick six carryover, and I would love his thoughts too if he wants to come on and share them after you, Chris.
Yeah, I do. And I approach these things two different ways, especially recently as the group ticket they're talking about. I'll get in with that. I'll let Howard create tickets, and I don't want to see them. I don't want to hear his opinions. That way he don't influence what I do, and I don't influence what he does to get that variance. And Matt has seen some of my pick six tickets. They're going to be narrow. They're going to be strong opinions. And if I hit them, I hit them. Like today, I thought there was 3 races that were difficult, and there was 3 races I'm narrow in. I actually have 3 singles on a $210 ticket on my own. And I've hit tickets like that this year, and I don't play them often. I only play them when there's carryovers or I have super strong opinions, and I keep up with my data very, very precisely. This year in New York, I played 11 pick sixes up at 5 of 6, 9 freaking times. 9.
So you're due.
I am due. And as far as this race coming up, I'm with you on the 4. I think Santana get that one closer. The 8 and 9 both ran good on debut. They should improve. I'm also using the 10 and 6, and I'm singling. I'm singling Our Disaster. The 1 in the turf sprint, I can't remember its name offhand. Sinan.
Yeah.
And then the 9 in the next race, and I'm spread everywhere else.
I like it. Howard is joined us now. What are your thoughts on this pick sequence, sir, Mr. Boss Man?
I don't know if I want to say anything. Chris is on right now. I know he doesn't want to hear my opinion.
I mean, I'm not going to change it now. I mean, I just don't look till after I put my ticket in.
I'm just kidding, Chris. This is a tough sequence. And the main reason, guys, is I think it's hard to find a single. I did singles the 5 in the second to last race, General Jim. By the way, does that name sound familiar, Matt?
We were going to claim him the other day and ride him home to Saratoga.
No, I wasn't going to claim him. He was a Derby future 2 years ago, and now he's actually a nice turf horse. Anyway,
$40,000. If we want enough money.
That's right. We were going to do that. Anyway,
back to the house.
This is a tough sequence because there's no obvious single at all. I mean, I don't see one horse in here that is going to be less than 9 to 5 morning line, or sorry, post time, maybe 8 to 5. So that makes this a tough sequence. But I'm playing it with a group of people, some of which are on the screen, and I'm excited because I think it can pay because there are no obvious singles. It's not like playing a 5 out of 6, or a pick 5 where there's an obvious single. So my guess, my strongest opinion is General Jim in the second to last race, but it's really not my most likely winner of the sequence, Ryan. It's either him or it's 4 or 5 others is how I feel. And so I don't know if that's contradictory to people at home, but I try to find a single in a race where I feel like you either have to single or go really deep. And that's the one that I feel the most confident that I have to either single that or go deep, if that makes sense. So should be fun, tough race, just hoping to stay alive as long as possible.
No doubt. Let's go through and let's talk about most likely winners, because I'm with you. This is an incredibly tough sequence to go through and play the pick 6. Having a triple carry is pretty hard to do, especially with what the pool size is going to be. As I look right now, the pool size as they are on the track is actually it's only about $440,000. So I guess it's in the realm of possibility. We're still 5 minutes to post though, so I expect that to grow exponentially before we get to the gate. But that being said, you do have quite a lot of variables in a sequence like this, where I believe your shortest price on the morning line for the favorite in this sequence is 5-2, which that's pretty uncommon in terms of how we go. But this is an excellent sequence to dive on into. Matt, do you have a most likely winner in this sequence, or was this any strong opinions at all?
I do, and I admit that my methods. I'm a cheater. I'm absolutely looking at other people's picks and other systems and the like and things like that. Equine Edge, it's not a secret. I love the product. In the next race, it really, really, really gives a massive pace advantage to that one horse and a really large win percentage. And then in the race after that, between Scotland and Nash, it assigns about half the win percentages. And then it throws, actually, I should throw in Patriot Spirit. So it looks like you can almost go 1 by 3 in legs 2 and 3. As I'm looking at the rest of this, it just looks increasingly difficult, and I have less and less to say. So,
so Ryan, on the bottom of the screen, I just put this in the chat. I don't know if you want to go, if you want to take the, if you want to just put us on the screen so you can see the banner.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. You can go full screen too. It doesn't matter with our picture. There you go. For people interested in playing it, we got about 3 minutes here. Affordable. It's a pick 6, ladies and gentlemen. So I mean, it's not going to be. It's going to be expensive. You're playing a pick 6, but that's what I would play if I was like playing on my own. I want to play a smaller ticket. I'll just read it: 49158 with 168 with 5 with 3511. Again. Not the strongest opinions, I guess. Obviously, the 5. I will say that I have a few spot plays in here as well. I do like Nash in the Vosburg 6-1 morning line right now. Probably will drift down from that. That was a spot play. So I think that one is definitely interesting. And I think one of the first time stars in the last race has a big shot because I just don't love the horses that have run already. The 3 and the 5 both are most likely very live in that spot also. So anyway, just want to throw that on the bottom there, Ryan.
I like that. Thank you for throwing that in there. As we go, we do have some similarities in here as we'll go through the sequence. However, our single is a little bit different. I like the single for you for General Jim. I singled the Adelphi horse in, I believe it's Exact Estimate is the name, for Tom Morley. I thought that horse deserved a huge look, winning the non-2 other than race last time out, claim now ridden by Johnny V. So I want to give that one a closer look, at least on my ticket. I played a very, very skinny ticket. 2 singles. It's 3 by 2 by 1 by 2 by 1 by 2. Just going to play that $24. Figure, I'll press up the short opinions I do have. I really like Patriot Spirit in the Vosburg. That is one of the horses I'm really looking forward to run. I got to use Our Disaster, the consistency in the next race. You can't ignore it. 11 starts, never out of the Exacta, 6 wins, 5 seconds. Might have had that reverse, but either way, that's fantastic. And then Sterling Silver, who I believe might be a little bit of an overlay, can certainly get back to her winning ways as she tries the sprint distance one more time. I mentioned Exact Estimate. Last race, it's a bit of a crapshoot. I'll take the outside horse that showed a lot of speed for Dave Duggan, Kendrick Carmouche getting blinkers on for the second time. And then that first time starter, the number 5, who's by Yaupan, who's been sensational with his 2-year-olds, Mike Maker, Jose Ortiz. So I'll keep it skinny. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, it's $24. Who cares? But best of luck to everybody that's playing in the sequence. Again, you got to press up your opinions. You got to be right. And it's a very difficult sequence, especially today, with there not being any really strong leans. But that is going to make for some likely very good payouts, as well as some great races that I hope we all get to look forward to and see. Go ahead, Mr. Howard.
In the pool right now, 382,000 in the pool with the carryover 110. We're looking over $500,000 overall, and there's still another minute. I think the pool's going to be closer to 450 when it's all said and done. So we're talking about close to 600K in the pick 6 pool today at Aqueduct. That's good.
It's very good.
I'll go ahead and stay on and watch this race with you guys, and then or listen to the race.
The
and
12
go off screen
is coming out at Aqueduct.
What's that, Chris?
The 12 is coming
scratch.
out at New York.
Okay.
Via Sophia. Not the Firmia.
I thought the 8 and the 9 ran against each other. I know there was the 8's first start, but I thought the 9 ran better anyway. And by the way, I believe we have Mr. Maher live at Churchill right now, Ryan. Couldn't be a worse time as we start the Big 6 at Beaumont. But you want to bring it on, Ryan, real quick?
Let's get one more person on this screen because we don't have enough people talking.
What's up?
It's Noah Maher live from Churchill Downs.
What up, little bro? How we doing?
We're doing good. How's Churchill today? The weather looks fantastic behind you. Looks like a Southern California afternoon. How's the racing going? And how are we looking as we approach the late pick 5?
Oh, dude, the weather's great. I mean, it's 67 and sunny here. Not a cloud in the sky. Couldn't be happier. But the wallet has been about the opposite. Haven't bet much, but it hasn't gone well. So that's not really a good omen for the rest of the late pick 5 that we're going to get into. But we can turn that around because this is a wide open betting board, at least here at Churchill. I know Belmont, you guys can go ahead and talk about that because that might be a little more important at the time being.
We got that late scratch of the 12 Mia Sophia. They are approaching the gate. Looks like in total, including the carryover, a little over $540,000 in there currently. And then, Noah, we would love to get back out to you in Louisville to give us your paddock analysis for this upcoming race number 7. And you'll be joining us throughout the afternoon with a couple of really nice stakes races coming up as well. All right, let's see if the audio is working. All right, they're approaching the gate to load in for race number 7 out at Belmont at the Big A. Again, kicks off that pick 6, so get your tickets in now as they're starting to load in. Let's see. I don't think he's spoken yet, so let me know, or I'll let you guys know.
Hey Noah, we got 30 seconds. What's the atmosphere and crowd like there, real quick?
This ain't no derby, I'll tell you that. Where I'm set up at the 8 hole, there is absolutely nobody there. You can kind of see the paddock now. Let me see if I can switch that around for you guys. There's a decent crowd here. I mean, you can kind of see the people in the paddock, but like I said, it's no derby, but it's kind of a decent experience just because it can get a little hectic at those times.
Yeah. All right, here we go with the pick 6, Noah. Thanks.
Consider it city.
Good luck to everyone.
Going in.
Crush your bets if you're playing the
The
pick six
Valiant
at
Diva.
Aqueduct today.
To the outside.
Wouldn't mind seeing the 4 wiring the field, by the way. Just throw that out there.
Rainbow's End Racing Silks and Valiant Diva. Moving forward.
Noah is
And in.
locked in on the screen right now.
All set. And they're off. And the favorite was off slow, Live in the Breeze. It was off a step slow, and the leader, Atenea. Atenea will lead him into that charge, into that first turn, and to the outside, here comes Cosmic Candy Girl, is applying mild pressure, is now sitting second to the outside of Ryan Elizabeth, patiently ridden at the rail. That's the leading trio. Just behind them comes Romero Mirage.
That's your lead.
Solemn Beauty is in fourth, pretty strung out here early. Atenea is the clear leader. In
Stop
fifth,
the
now moving
race.
forward comes Considerate City. Back to sixth is going to be Amicus Curie. Live in the Breeze was off a step slow and is now keen. In the center of the course is 3 wide, having a tough journey of it. Down towards the inside of that one comes My Boston Beauty as Amicus Curie is losing some ground. Spectacular Bell towards the back end of the field with Valiant Diva and the trailer Starship Ava. Free running on the front end. Atenea 24.43 for the open. Opening quarter mile went 49.31 for a half. And Cosmic Candy Girl is still in pursuit, is leading that second group. Less than a half mile to go as they get set to turn into the far turn now. Trying to keep up Ryan Elizabeth. Just got past as Live in the Breeze is now cut loose towards the outside of a shoved along Considerate City. That's the leading 4. Also trying to get into the mix. That's Solemn Beauty. At the rail, Amicus Curie, nowhere to go. Starship Ava starts to launch. Orange Cap far back, but is railing on. They've got to catch Atenea. Atenea's got the lead. Cosmic Candy Girl ranging up to the outside. Considerate City, Live in the Breeze, and the leader is now Cosmic Candy Girl. Cosmic Candy Girl has now put away Atenea. Considerate City is the one rallying on late. Live in the Breeze. Starship Ava's green, but made up a lot of ground late. Has a lot of ground to make up. On the leader, Cosmic Candy Girl. Cosmic Candy Girl, now with a 16th left to go and a perfect journey for Cosmic Candy Girl. Kendra Carmouche, that's your winner. Considerate City was second. Flying on late in the photo, that was Atenea and Starship Ava.
There we go. Starting off the pick six with, I believe, a 9 to 2, 7 to 2. What did you go off? 5 to 2 price. That's not bad at all.
The 5 is, I was going to use the 5 guys. I wanted the reason for those of you that are on the screen and also maybe at home watching that are part of our pick 6. The reason for I wanted to wait to send out the ticket is because this 5 is really well bred, but only costs $10,000 at the sales. And I didn't know what to do with that one. Plus it's junior, and I was not going to lose the first leg of the pick 6 to junior at like a price. But when she was dead on the board, I felt better. She was green and made a big run. Put that horse in your stable. I can't recall the name now of the 5, but that was actually a pretty good run.
That was a good run from the 5. Very green, as you could see coming down the lane for anybody that was watching. Just really figuring things out. The number 9, Considerate City, got the job done. I'm going to turn it over to Howard and the rest of the crew as we're going to go out to Noah Maher, and I will be back in just a little while.
Terrific. So Noah's at Churchill. We got 2 big races coming up. Do you see how's the track playing in your opinion? Noah, do you see any kind of biases? What's your gut feel early prep for the first 2 stake races of the day?
I don't know if I would say there's a bias from what I've seen. I know the last race there was a horse making a run up the fence, ran well, and earlier on in the day I felt like there was a horse in Top Gun Tommy who wired the field, and we saw some other winners come from off of it. So I don't know if I'm ready to say that it's not playing fair.
We should give a shout out, Noah, by the way, to Churchill Downs for allowing Noah to be on here with a press credential, and Kevin Kirstein and the crew there taking care of us, Matt. Again, Churchill Downs, very accommodating to the HHH Racing podcast. They've allowed us to be at the Derby for the last several years, and I would say, I don't want to say forever, but I would think for a long time, especially if a certain situation comes through for us in the near future, which you and I won't mention directly, but indirectly.
Well, and look, it's funny for the guy who was first to call them Arlington Killer. They've been nothing but professional, kind, smart. I can say a lot of nice things in terms of how they've done the tournaments, how they've dealt with us when we go see them. It's a very good group of people, starting with Darren, but I know there's others like Kevin and others that you've dealt with. So yeah, they've made it very hard to hold a grudge.
No doubt about it. So I'm scrambling a little bit. I wasn't prepared to host at this very second. No, what do you got in race? We got, let's see, it looks like we have 7 minutes to post. Well, first of all, where are you? Give people a scene of what you're doing right now.
Yeah, let me turn this around because I actually just walked through the tunnel right here. So I think you guys can see that, can't you?
Yep.
I can actually put it sideways so you can maybe see it a little better. If you want to put it full screen so our wonderful viewers can see.
It looks nice.
Oh. Yeah, it's beautiful out here today.
Hey, Noah, now, I don't know if you saw, I put a picture out on X last time I was there. Have you seen, and let me go full screen with everyone here. Have you seen Charlie? No, not Charlie Freeman. Charlie, the mascot from Churchill Downs.
I actually have. Funny enough, I almost went up to him thinking it was Charlie Freeman, but it wasn't. So I got a little confused.
They do look a little. Anyway,
way too quiet.
Did you get a picture with Charlie?
No, I did not. I can go get one for you though. We can, increase our viewers.
I'll tell you what. If you can get, I'm drawing a blank. Who's the awesome horse? The pony. Why am I drawing a blank?
Harley.
Harley. Yeah.
If we can get a Harley sighting, Noah, that would make my day.
I would. I don't know if Harley's here today. I don't think I've seen him.
Harley
Resting up for Keeneland, I think.
Is he at the Maher house already, just chilling, waiting for Keeneland, or what?
Yeah, we built a little stable there back for him, so I think he's getting rested, ready to go for next weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what, it better not be a little stable for Harley. You better build a big stable.
Harley's got to be getting pretty up there in age. My oldest is 18, and I've got pictures of her riding Harley at the barns when she was like 9 and 10 years old with the groom leading her around.
Wow.
On Harley.
No, who do you got in this race? Let me bring up the PPs. Give me a second, everyone, because I got to switch over right now. Here come the PP. Who do you like in this race, Noah? I believe this is the only turf race of the day. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. So it'll be interesting to see how the turf plays in this race. On Betting and Boozing let me do that Tuesday night. I like Scatitude a little bit. The price is kind of stuck, and I thought maybe it would go down with some of the scratches. I know Kyle was a big fan of the 8 who scratched and the 4 scratch as well. Scatitude was the one that I liked a little bit. Her lone turf route here at Churchill Downs I thought was very, very good. Part of a hot pace that did not stick together. The first and second place finishes came from way out of it. And then last time she had a pretty good win at Kentucky Downs. Now I know people are a little bit dubious of those wins just because some horses don't take to it and some do, all those hills and valleys nonsense. But I'm hoping that it's more just a natural progression as a 3-year-old, and maybe she can step over game again, and she's sitting at a nice price of 5-1.
Where are the rails, Noah, today?
I believe they're down.
Okay.
They look down. They look like they're at 0. If they are out, it's maybe 12 feet, but they look from 0.
They've been very careful, guys, for the turf course in the fall here, sort of saving it for some of the bigger turf races they're going to have in November. Of course, the weather gets colder than anyway. So that's why people are wondering. Remember last year, guys, they did not run on the turf at all for this fall meet. So it's good to see that they're on the turf. So you got the 5. Who else are you interested in here, Noah?
I know I had the 5 on top. I think I was a little interested in the 7. She was one that kind of caught my eye in the paddock. A couple of the horses were getting a little warm just because it is a little bit warm in the sun here, but she looked pretty calm, pretty composed. The worry with her is the stretch out. I know they kind of cut her back. I think it's Cassie who cut her back and started to excel really well. So they're stretching her back out, and she's sitting at 5-1. I mean, this is a big race. It seems like the 10's starting to take a little bit more money on the board. The 10's now at 5-2. Who are you guys interested in?
Yeah, I didn't look at this race. We should go to Pat because he handicapped this race on Bet and Boozing.
Oh, right, Patrick Hunzel.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about it before. I thought Table Flirt was a little interesting getting back to the turf after, not being able to get on the turf when it seems like Bill Mott's, sort of been confused as to what to do as performances dipped in the Appalachian when I think just rough trip that day and just really didn't do much running. But now gets back onto the turf, and like I said earlier, had a just a maintenance turf work. But I think there's a lot of intent here getting this horse into this spot.
Table Flirt is 5-1. This is a wide open board. Sweet Treasure with Flo is the favorite, Pat, right now. The 10 horse at 5-2, down from a 6-1 morning line. Looks like is the controlling speed, but has not run for Brad Patrick since November. What were the Ben and Boozin guys' thoughts of the number 10, who's taking a ton of money right now?
Yeah, Howard, you bring up the point with the layoff, and that's kind of what concerned all of us. We questioned if this horse is going to be ready off the layoff here. But yeah, you're right. I do think the horse does get courageous on the lead and could have it her way in this spot because that's obviously what the five does want to show early speed, but is not intent on getting to the lead. So I think the 10 should be able to clear.
Interesting. Noah, while we got you on right now, as we're waiting here for Churchill, I'm getting on the screen here. We got a little bit of time. You're, of course, a West Coast guy at heart. There's some big races today at Santa Anita that you covered the early pick 5. I've covered basically the later races. Do you have any thoughts off the top of your head on some of the big stake races like the Goodwood and some other races at Santa Anita today?
Oh, it's a great day. Pacific Course Players actually covered opening day late pick 5. So that ended up being yesterday afternoon, and it didn't go well. So I won't talk about that. But the races today, I know they got the City of Hope early on in the card. I think that's race 4, Return of Johannes. I'm looking forward to seeing him come back and firing big. I think he could fire big once again in the Breeders' Cup Mile as he did last year.
No, hold on one second. Do you guys hear the sound on the hold, they're not saying anything right now. When hold on, no, I just want to double check it works for us, for the viewers as we wait for Travis Stone to say something. Looks like they're approaching the gate. The turf looks great on TV, no?
It looks great. It looks like one of those fairways we've seen up at Bethpage.
Waiting for Scatitude.
All right, we got the sound. You're welcome to stay on, Noah.
And drop the hammer.
Maybe mute Noah so that we don't get like an echo from the track feed, perhaps. Yep, he's already muted. Look at this guy. He's a pro already. Good luck to everyone at Churchill.
There. Hit the gate. And they're off. She's Got Will came outward at the start. Pretty Sassy had to check a few times there. Ryder trying to get the stirrups back on board. They are 5 lengths behind the rest of the field. Drop the hammer. For that outside post, races out to grab the lead and has crossed over the entire field. But now there's company. Scatitude comes on, and Sweet Treasure does too. And those 3 are right across the track into the first turn. Drop the hammer down inside, short lead, Scatitude pressing, and Sweet Treasure is keen while 3 wide. She's Got Will just in behind with Wandering Kirby. They're together 4th and 5th. Next up is now 6th, Golden Sunshine, and 7th, Table Flirt is 8th. And Pretty Sassy, detached from the field, is 12 lengths behind the next to last horse and is well out of it at this point. But it's a sharp quarter, the opening quarter in 23-1. Drop the hammer, heads down the backstretch, the leader. Scatitude backed off there briefly. Scatitude sitting in second for the run to the far turn. Sweet Treasure, 3 wide third. Wandering Kirby, saving ground 4th. She's Got Will 5th. Next up, checked hard there. Next up, checked and lost a couple of lengths. In the meantime, Table Flirt took over that spot. Draws to within 5 lengths of the lead. Farther back is Golden Sunshine and Pretty Sassy as they come for the top of the stretch. Scatitude powers up to grab the lead. Sweet Treasure's cut loose. Table Flirt, She's Got Will. Wandering Kirby next up in some heavy traffic. Golden Sunshine coming down the top of the turf. 1 furlong to go. Table Flirt comes away with the lead. Goes clear. Golden Sunshine runs up into second. Trying to run down Table Flirt. Table Flirt. Golden Sunshine. Table Flirt. Held on.
Nice, Patrick.
Table Flirt the winner. Golden Sunshine second. Next up was third.
Nice odds.
Wow, hold on a second, boys. First time on the show, we gotta do something here for Patrick Hunzel, throwing out Table Flirt, 7-1.
Yeah, because the 10 bumped him and the 10 got hurt.
A crush. Patrick, how do you feel, my friend?
Good, yeah, that was a great ride by IRAD there, split horses at the top of the stretch. There was a lot. I don't know. I hope next up the 3 is all right. That was checked pretty hard on the far turn. That was. I thought that kind of affected Table Flirt a little bit, but she was able to stay to the outside of whatever happened there. So that was nice.
No, are you watching for the winner's circle? Where are you watching these races from?
I'm watching from the dreaded spot we watched the Derby a year and a half ago.
Well,
go stand on the rail, Noah. Go stand on the railing.
Sweet Treasure did not break great, Noah, and then rushed up. That really quickened the pace. I thought Scatitude was in a great spot until Sweet Treasure rushed up. That forced Scatitude to rush up and made the race sort of fall apart. What is Irad Ortiz, Noah? 7-1. Do people in Kentucky, have they ever heard of Irad Ortiz? Because he's pretty damn good, my friend.
He is pretty good working out that little inside-outside trip. You're right about the 5. She kind of had her hand forced a little early. There was some weird stuff going on the outside because the 10 didn't break at all and then rushed up, and 11 was moving, so they were going up pretty fast. I thought she didn't run bad. I think she ended up running 4th, and they were moving up front pretty good. So
hey Noah, while I got you on screen, if you can just stay on for another 2 minutes here, we got Santa Anita is going to start, and I want to make sure we cover Santa Anita races a little bit. They've got 2 minutes to the opener, which you guys covered right now. The favorite is Della Terra, the number 8 horse, even money. What was your opinion in the first race at Santa Anita?
Well, as I said previously, we actually covered yesterday's late pick 5, so we did not cover the early pick 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No
You're
worries.
right. My bad. What am I talking about? We were going to cover the early pick 5 and we didn't. Well, we'll switch back to Santa Anita at some other point. We also got 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, to Woodbine, and we got 10 minutes to Belmont. Let's go to Belmont, guys. Let's talk about Belmont. And Noah, feel free to stay on, or you don't need to, or you can come off screen and then come back later. It's up to you. What would you like to do, Noah?
I'll go off screen for about 10-15, and I'll come back in the paddock.
No problem. I'll remove you from the screen and just
Cool.
come back. Thanks, Noah. Appreciate it.
Yep. Cool.
All right, Noah Maher, guys, doing a great job live at Churchill Downs. Let's talk about the next race at Belmont, guys, and you're going to have to give me a second to slide over the PPs. This is the Gallant Bloom. Chris, let me go to you. It's the grade 2. This is for the girls. I believe it's a win and you're in. I don't know if someone wants to check that or not, but I believe it is a win and you're in, although I'm not sure any of these horses are a major threat in the what am I doing here? There we go. Whoop, I got to switch to something else. Sorry. A major threat in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. What were your thoughts here, Chris Couples, in the Gallant Bloom?
I thought Our Disaster get loose from the rail and gone. I know it was as simple as that. Sterling Silver was my only B. That's the only horse that scared me. Now, you talk about the winning your in part. Have you noticed Sappy sending these fillies all over the country? It's like, how many horses is he trying to get in the Filly Mare Sprint?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. And was I?
Oh, you were froze. We didn't notice. You were
Yeah.
so still. We thought you were just in stuff mode.
I'm sorry, Chris. Can you repeat that one more time? What you just said?
I singled Our Disaster here,
Okay.
thinking she can get loose from the rail and go. I know there's not a lot of speed in here. There's some that are tactical, but they're not as fast as her. You know, Skeleble's classy and cutting back is kind of scary. Sterling Silver, she's a nice horse. I've bet her several times, but I had to make a stand, and I'm going to make my stand with some speed on the rail.
Can she? I guess you're not worried about the 6.5 then, Chris. Obviously.
It's right at her limit, but she's made it before, and by my figures, her best races have been this distance at this racetrack.
Yeah, she's definitely going. That's for sure. There is other speed in here, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do because the number 6, who actually I would have liked in the Parks race last weekend, Linda decides to go here, which to me is a tougher spot, but that's just what they decide to do. Head's going to show some speed. And then you got Sunze Parole. Now this, Patrick, this horse is the one that is really interesting because she completely freaked last year in her debut at Saratoga and was the bee's knees. Obviously something happened. She came back at 40 cents the dollar and was really disappointing. Really had no excuses last time. The fact, Patrick, that Chad has decided to put her in here tells me she's a major threat. Now she's going to have to sit off of Our Disaster and get the 6.5. There's definitely some questions here, which is why I think she's 7-2. But again, if you believe in Chad Brown, when I say you, I mean the betting public, and Dylan, you've got to believe this horse is ready to roll. Otherwise, wouldn't he put her in an allowance spot?
Yeah, I agree, Howard, and I think that obviously Chad's numbers in this type of with this layoff, second off the layoff, I should say, are really good. So the confidence just grows a little bit more. But I do want to throw something back at any of you guys regarding what you would do. You think's going to sit off our disaster in second. So do you think the outside draw is good or for this situation?
Go ahead,
I
Chris.
do, but hey, Howard, I'd like to add one thing. You know, you're talking about Chad putting her here, would have put her in allowance. He actually did enter her in an allowance race last week and scratched her. That was a big part of my thinking here. I wasn't that impressed with her comeback race. And, you know, Chad's not hesitant with a good horse to put him in the deep water. He entered this horse in the allowance race. To me, there was some hesitation there. Now, that being said, it's Chad Brown. He could blow up my tickets in a heartbeat and this horse win by 10. But I didn't like this horse last week in the allowance, and I sure don't like it today.
Yeah, I get it. The allowance race, by the way, did fill, ladies and gentlemen. It's not as if the race didn't go. So, you know, this is a really interesting situation. Matt, when you see a trainer like Chad just scratch out allowance and go into a graded stake, what does your gut feeling tell you? And I also want to mention that our disaster is taking a ton of money, much more money than I thought she'd take. She is 6-5 right now, which I got to tell you, I think is a little bit ridiculous in my personal opinion. But Matt, when you see a sort of a soft 7-2 and Chad makes this move, what's your gut feel from a gambling standpoint?
I trust that they're making the right move, and I'm encouraged by it. So to be reaching for the tougher spot, I'm encouraged, and to be settling for the lesser spot, I'm far less likely to bet the horse. This one horse is the one that Equine Edge had at this massive pace advantage and huge win percentage. And when you look at the will pays for the double and the pick 3, it's getting bet about the way I think one would expect. So frankly, I'm pretty happy here to be looking at even money or 6-5, and this is a back the truck up kind of play for me.
Wow. Well, Ryan, let me talk about my top pick because it's spot play, and then I'll throw it back to you, my friend, and you can continue to host. I'm a little worried that Sterling Silver is higher odds right now than she should be, but as I mentioned on the power pick tip sheet, she's dirty up, guys. 2 backs she didn't break against My Man Squeeze. Last time, I don't know why they went to turf. That's not her preferred distance. And as I said on the power pick tip sheet, and also I was on with Seth Merrill this morning on Capital OTB, I'm not ready to say she's done, guys, just because of those 2 races. Now, if she throws in a clunker here, I'll say, okay, maybe she wants to become a mama and whatever. I trust Mountain Alvarado. She's working well. She's got plenty of figs that fit here, and she's won against open company before. This is a very good New York bred, Patrick, and I think 5-1 is an absolute gift right now, especially if the pace is decent. I mean, it doesn't have to be like – she can be up relatively close. She doesn't have to close them too far back. It would help if someone went after our disaster for my top pick here, Patrick.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said, Howard. And the pace in here, you would think needs to be pretty quick for her. But yeah, I would, like I said, relate to what you were saying, and I just think it's kind of put up or shut up for her, to be point blank, because they've, you know, she's been the favorite or second choice pretty much every race, and she's the last 4 races have just not been the greatest.
Patrick, how did that put up or shut up line work for our good old USA team this weekend?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no good.
Go ahead, Ryan. Take it away, my friend. Ryan, I'll go ahead and play the audio for this race, then you can do the rest of them. I just have it ready.
Perfect.
Just make it easier for you. Go ahead.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I'm all on board with Sterling Silver. This is my top pick in the race as well. I don't think that she's necessarily a higher price than I would think she would be. I thought she might get a little bit forgotten about because you have horses like Senza Parole who are going to take money no matter what. Our disaster from the rail does look like the controlling speed. I wonder if Senza Parole might try and have those tactics she did on debut where she was she had a couple targets in front of her. It appeared like last time she might have gotten a little bit lost out there when she had that open 4-length lead and just wasn't able to finish it. It's not like Chad not to have those horses ready off whatever amount of layoff that you want to account for. Hers happened to be 366 days, but he can come back 1 year, 2 years, and he'll have them ready off the bench. So it felt like maybe she got a little bit lost out there. So I'm interested to see how she runs, but she's going to be a horse that's going to beat me in this spot. 3-1 is a little too low for me to take. Our Disaster feels like she's getting that sort of they knew type money. I didn't anticipate her necessarily getting this much play, but I would say that this is a pretty strong vote of confidence for bettors if you did like Our Disaster. The money in New York, when it shows up like this, it's not often wrong. And truthfully, I don't really know where else you go. If you don't go with Our Disaster, it's a pretty wide open board behind her. Obviously, Senza Parole, who I talked about, but I like Sterling Silver. I'll take a little stab with her to try and see if she can kind of right the ship and get back to her winning ways. Because, again, I think at Sterling Silver's best, I think she beats this field pretty handily. And Howard, you mentioned a great point. She's dirtied up on her recent form for sure with, that turf effort last time out. This Johnstone easy excuse with My Main Squeeze wiring that field. 3 back. I don't think 9 furlongs is her game. The Ruffian, she probably should have won that race, but Jody's Pride is a decent horse on her best day. So
that's what got me. When she got beat by Jody's Pride that day, I was a big fan of her. Me and her got divorced.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's My Main Squeeze, Morning Matcha, Gunsong, who just beat Randomize. I don't think that's that bad a field, guys. It was a grade 2. Just saying.
It's not. She just, to me, she hadn't liked the same horse. Now she gets back to her track here, and she hadn't ran this distance in a long time. Me personally thought her best races were going a 1-turn mile.
Okay.
That's fair. I would have liked her a lot better if this race was 7. Probably would have been like a stone single for me, but 6.5 I think fits her. Go ahead, Matt.
So just for what it's worth, as I'm sitting here looking at the odds boards, based on what your guys' opinions are, and especially knowing Howard's affinity in the next race for Nash, although I think that one horse looks pretty tough too. If you are willing to, so the double of Our Disaster into Nash is pretty solid. It's 30. That's 30. It's 25-1, Howard. So if you really like Nash, that's kind of a no-brainer. And for the rest of you guys looking at Sterling Silver, you're looking at 19-1 into the 1 and 36-1 into Nash. And so you're definitely, even with your 8 horse, you're getting 14-1 of the 8 into the 1 and 35-1 into Nash. So these are very playable daily double plays, in my opinion.
I think the reason why the doubles are that way, Matt, is because Nash is 6-1 morning line, obviously. I'm assuming, actually, I shouldn't assume anything. Scotland's probably the favorite, right? I would assume.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Crazy Mason.
Even the 5-1 and the 8-1 are pretty good. So if you're not on the 1 here, you're getting paid in the double pool.
Pat knows this bet well because I won't say I taught him this bet, but I certainly introduced it to him. Reverse tri-key on Sterling Silver. I'm all in here big time. I'm using her. She doesn't have to win for me. I'd like to see her win, but if she finishes second or third, that's fine. It looks like they are loading. And
post time for today's
perfect horse sport.
Perfect with the sound, guys.
30 seconds money.
There's an echo.
Right.
Oh, just kidding. That's on me.
$50,000.
Good luck to everyone.
Loading quickly. Patricia Ann and their street.
Somehow Juan Hernandez just paid $27 at Santa Anita.
Wow. Opening. Okay. First race. This whole key is how much pressure Our Disaster gets, right, guys? If she's loose, she probably wins, I guess. We'll see.
Is Scalable stepping forward and Senza Parole to the outside.
Guys, if Senza Parole breaks, she's not going to be that far off Our Disaster, in
Dylan
my
Davis.
opinion. We'll see.
Senza Parole.
I just need Sterling Silver to break and be 3 or 4 off would be ideal.
Right at the gate. Goes in. All set. Grade 2. Gallant Bloom.
Ooh.
Acting up there. Senza Parole. Threw her head about. And they're off. Senza Parole flashes early speed. Also right there. Here comes All Class to join them. But Our Disaster is quickest and easily getting to the front, just gliding up there. That is Our Disaster. Jose Ortiz. They're up by a length and a half early. Patricia Ann is chasing, is now a close-up second, shared in that spot with
I like where
Senza Parole.
Sterling is, guys.
Switching to the outside. All Class has got an outside running path, is out there in the 4 path, is sitting in 4th, and in behind them, Sterling Silver. Then comes Street View towards the tail end of the field. Impel and Scalable far, far back, 12 lengths off the lead. 22 seconds flat for controlled opening quarter, and Our Disaster is the target. Senza Parole is right there from second. Patricia Ann, patiently ridden at the rail, is now looming up towards the inside. Sterling Silver's trying to rally on with All Class. Impel, Street View, and Scalable far back. 44.73, the half-mile time.
Come on, Sterling, what do you got?
Disaster kicks for home. Senza Parole is chasing Patricia Ann down towards the inside. Sterling Silver is now cut loose for Junior Alvarado, but Our Disaster is well clear. Our Disaster is just opening up here with every single stride, has a 16th left to go, and no doubt this is a dominant winner.
Wow.
Our Disaster, much the best, wins the Gallant Bloom easily. Our Disaster won it over Patricia Ann, then came Impel and Sterling Silver in 1 minute 14.78 seconds.
Whoa,
quick.
Do we have a contender for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint? I don't know, but if she goes, that is going to add some more speed, Ryan, to that race at Del Mar. That's for damn sure.
Contender? Yeah, I don't know, but certainly a huge pace presence. We know
I
that
bet there'll
this
be some debate over that time as well.
probably. We know that the 7 furlongs at Del Mar often ends in an absolute meltdown when they go that 7 furlong distance for the Filly and Mare Sprint. So this is another one that's probably going to contribute to that pace early, and we'll see who's there when they get to that last half a furlong with a nice boom in the chat from Matt.
How about Patricia? Patrick, did you bet Patricia Ann at 27-1 in second? I had this horse nowhere. Sterling Silver ran fine. I actually think she ran a race pretty much. I think Our Disaster just ran a
Probably
complete
she
home.
just ran them off their feet. I know she's she's just
1:35, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, she's fast.
Yeah, but she hasn't run a race like this. I mean, this is a high 90s buyer. This is a race that we've
no
never seen.
offense to the buyer numbers, but we've had this conversation behind doors with some people. But
yeah,
I thought how to read them. My numbers and buyers are quite a bit different.
Okay, well, even on the time form, she wasn't. That's her best race of her career. I'm pretty sure. I'm glad I used her, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little bit hesitant, but I looked at the doubles and she looked like she could be loose. I just hate losing horizontal bets to lone speed horses. So we got Noah's back in the paddock. Should we go to him, Ryan? Go ahead. Take it away, Ryan.
Yeah. Let's go to Noah as we're in the paddock for the first of our handful of stake races we have at Churchill Downs, where Noah, as I understand it, we have a 1-9 favorite currently in Most Wanted.
I didn't know Noah bet that much money. Jesus. Noah?
Chris knows me all too well.
Noah, how are they looking as we're getting ready to get saddled and head out onto the racetrack for the first of 2 stake races out there?
Well, they look like stakes caliber. I tell you that right now. I haven't gotten a good look at Most Wanted just because he's been in his stall there. I wonder if he's getting a little warm. But yeah, no, this is something I did not think I would see. He's sitting up at the board at 1-9 right now. If there was any other speed in the race, I would think that's absolutely crazy. But with the scratch of the 4, this is Usker. He might be as loose can be, and I'm not quite sure the rail is going to be a problem. So do with that what you will.
The rail at Churchill seems rarely to be an issue. Sometimes, perhaps even a slight advantage. We see horses, cut the corner and come up the rail all the time out at Churchill. So I definitely don't think it's much of an issue. Any big thoughts here? As this is, I'd imagine, a nice key horse and a lot of sequences for people. If you were to have to choose an alternate to Most Wanted, who is maybe the most likely upsetter?
I think I'd go with my boy Indispensable. I know his mile races, especially at Del Mar, I mean, maybe they don't compete with Most Wanted, but I mean, you could make a case that he's the second most likely winner in here just based off of those figs. I know Will Take It, who's the 2. I think he's the co-second choice at this point, which is kind of screwed up with all the money on the 1, but he just seems pretty invincible at this point at Churchill Downs. He's got figs that you could make a case that he could compete. I think I'd go back to the well with Indispensable because I think this is an interesting ship. He's not taking as much money as the others, so I don't know what the exactas look like, but I think I'd maybe try to get key with him.
I like it, especially with Luis Saez taking them out. Go ahead, Howard.
$123,000 in the win pool for Most Wanted. I'm going to do a little math, guys. I'm going to guess there's about a $50,000 to $60,000 win bet put on Most Wanted, higher according to Matt Miller, who did not make that bet, by the way, but might have a little bit of intel. Anyway, guys, here we go again. I mean, without that, what should this horse be, Noah, at post time? Forget about the current odds. I mean, I say he's an even money shot in this race, 6 to 5. I don't understand it.
I'd have said 3 to 5, just because there's not really much speed in the race. But Matt, how are we playing this from a contest perspective?
The amount of stomach acid that is moved from about here to about this point in my mouth, a bit overwhelming at the moment. So I'm in this, and I'll try and make it fast because I know these explanations get a little boring. I am sitting right now in this great spot in 8th and 9th in this contest with the same dollar amount of $1,000. And it looks to me like maybe $3,000 is going to get it done. And so I am picking this as my spot, and I am shoving all 1,040 of each entry in slightly different directions, trying to catch what I think is going to be a pretty likely winner. So I'm definitely taking the one. I will leave it to the rest of the world to figure out if that's in exactas or in doubles or whatever. I mean, it's enough money bet that it's you might even be able to see it because at the moment the pools aren't that big. But for me, this one feels like a walkover.
Noah, did anyone look better or worse than the paddock? You said I thought you said it was in the high 60s, but now you said a few times horses might be getting warm. So is it just because it's that sunny? And did anyone look particularly good or bad in person for what you saw?
No, it's actually, I think it might be 80 at this point. It's pretty warm here in the paddock, and you got the sun beating down on you. I probably should have brought some sunscreen with me. I am pretty white at this point in my life. No, I don't think anyone looks particularly good. I didn't get a great look at Most Wanted just because they were kind of washing him down in the stall. Maybe that was because he gets warm from time to time, or maybe that's just the daily routine with him. But nothing that I could really get a good scope on.
I just wonder what racial profile you're going to be in a few years from now, since you said at the time you're white, but we can have that discussion off air, I suppose.
I meant like level of tanness.
Yeah.
If that's
we're from Kentucky. We're going to be pale white all our lives, or we're going to be burnt. One or the other.
I was pretty tan myself before I got to college, but that's all gone out the window.
I love it. All right, so obviously you do have a horse that is a well-deserving heavy favorite. Other than the last race in the Grade 1 foregoer, this one was dueling up on the lead up at Saratoga, going 7 furlongs. Drew the rail that day, and eventually folded to better horses in Bookham Dano mainly. Outside of that, those last 3 efforts certainly look like a walkover versus this field. No other horses have triple-digit speed figures, and Most Wanted still ran really well in the forego, all things considered, up on a pace that eventually fell apart in the later stages of that. So if he can bounce back to that those previous ways, I think this half sibling to Life is Good can certainly get back in the winner's circle, going the mile distance. So
I see Harley.
Oh, you see Harley?
Noah's not. Harley's definitely there.
Yeah.
Who is Harley ponying? That's your winner.
He always ponies the favorite. I think he's ponying the one.
Okay.
Yeah, I see him on screen. He's hard not to notice.
Yeah, the one.
Can I tell you guys something? Most Wanted is a pretty big horse. I've actually seen him in person. Harley is just massive. He just like completely towers over Most Wanted. It's hilarious. But hey, I got a question for Matt and Chris, if I may, Ryan. This is a really good time to talk about vertical betting here because people want to make money in every race. Is this the kind of race vertically, Matt? Let's not forget contest right now. Just in general, Matt and Chris, is this the kind of race that if you like Most Wanted, you just watch the race and take a pass, or do you play exactas? Because I'm looking at the exactas right now, and I'll tell you what, the 1-2 is relatively low. It's about 3.4 to 1. But the other ones are 5 to 1, 6 to 1. I mean, for me, Chris, I'll speak for myself. This is absolutely the case where I try to just cold punch an exacta. What's wrong with 6 to 1 on that kind of price? If I can be right.
Yeah, and I'm looking to play a little both ways. I really like the 2 here. I know the two's not going to outbreak Most Wanted, but as long as he don't get in some traffic and have some trouble, he's going to be right up to him at just whenever he wants to, if we don't have a change in the way he's ridden. Losing his regular dance partner is a little bit of a concern. I know familiarity with horses is a big deal, but this horse has gotten really good the last 3 races. I know he cruised up, shook the reins last time, and he got in front of Banishing pretty handily, really. Now, like y'all said, he's going to be loose here. I know I'm like you. I want the ice cold exacta there too. I want the 1 and 2, but I've got to look at these pools in just a second because it's a little early right now because things change tremendously, as we know. And I'm also looking to play those 2 on top while using what numbers was it? Tumbarumba and Indispensable in third.
It's 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Matt, your thoughts, and Patrick as a, I shouldn't say new, but as a younger handicapper, I'd love to hear your opinion on what you do in this kind of race vertically. Matt?
So for me, it's a single on top. And the question is, what do I like for second? And if the answer is 1 horse, it's a clear exacta with some backup trifectas, putting that same horse in third with a couple others for second just in case. If you say, no, I can't really just say it's going to be 1, 2. I don't like the 2. I like the 5 and the 6. Yeah, I would just play a 1, 5 and a 1, 6. I'm not sure I'd start screwing around with those other trifectas at that point. But I absolutely see value here. If you look at the double pool, the doubles into the 2 favorites next race are each paying 4 something. And so you could essentially get even money on this 1 horse by playing it into the 2 favorites in the next race.
Yeah, and I would agree with Matt. I also think, I really like to start playing, especially when it's bigger fields. The Tri Key Howard, and this is a race where I like the 2 as well as Chris does. So I'm definitely going to try and get that horse underneath, and hopefully maybe a price can come in third too as well.
Hey, no, I just want to let you know the first race at Santa Anita, JJ just won at $27. Welcome to Santa Anita, my friend.
Sounds a little bit like them letting NYRA off at 7-1 in the last race here.
Yep.
It sure does. What do we have? It's about 2 minutes to post is what I'm showing. Howard, are you playing the audio on this one, or am I?
I can do it if you'd like. But you're welcome to run the show from this point. So you tell me. Either way.
Right, well, while you're on, yeah, it'd be great if you could run it.
Okay. No problem.
Please.
Hey, Ryan, is Most Wanted a Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile threat, assuming he wins here?
Threat? I think the answer to that comes later today in the Goodwood to see how full Serrano runs, and then ultimately what they end up deciding to do, because he is a true speed type, and we see Most Wanted do his best when he's up on the front end. So yeah. I would say possibly, because he's a very quick horse, and he has that ability, and we obviously saw his half brother do it pretty well out in Del Mar. So I'd say maybe, but no further than a mile. I think for sure. I think a mile is his best, and I'd even go so far as to say the 1-turn mile is truly where he's at his best.
I will say one thing, guys. I don't know if you agree. I do not like the rail going 7 furlongs or a mile. I don't know if Noah has an opinion on that in general. That's a way that Most Wanted can get beat, guys. If he gets shuffled back or there's issues on the rail. If he drew outside, I'd think he'd almost be a lead pipe cinch. That's just my opinion, Noah. What say you?
Yeah, I guess. It seems like there's a pretty good amount of space back there in that chute. I know we've sort of been back there when we've done the walkover for the Derby.
There is.
I guess. But if there was somebody else that would show some early speed and maybe pressure him to work a little harder like they did last time in the Forgo, I would probably agree with you. But
starting at its
he's supposed to beat this field, isn't he?
You guys hear the sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. No, I think you can go ahead and mute. No, if you don't mind. Good luck to everyone in the ACAG. Oh, another win in your Ryan, I believe, right, for the Dirt Mile?
I believe so.
Okay.
Get it home, Matt.
Get home,
guys.
Matt, where do you want to see him other than crossing the wire first? Early.
I can't see.
My bad. He didn't look at the PPs. That's my fault. He didn't look at the PPs. My fault.
I just don't want to see him bothered.
in the gate. We'll take it fractious, settle down, and they're off, and we'll take it stumbled coming out of there. Good start for Indispensable and Tumbarumba. Most Wanted down inside is out there too. 3 Technique on the far outside. Up the chute they go. Most Wanted with a short lead, but Tumbarumba will keep him company. And those two head to the main track in tandem. And just off them is Indispensable racing
quick,
in the
guys.
clear third. Another 3 lengths back to Houday fourth, and 3 Technique down inside, moving up from fifth. Will take it after that tough start, moves up in between as well, and that puts Shirley Furious the last of them all.
What I wanted.
Down the backstretch run, it's a sharp pace, 22-3. Tumbarumba taking it to Most Wanted down the backstretch. They are still together. Here's the half mile, 45-1. Most Wanted inside with a short lead. Tumbarumba still pressing, and those two are still clear. 3 lengths back. 3 Technique comes under a ride while third. Indispensable in fourth. Then it's Will Take It and Houday. And 5 lengths back to Shirley Furious. They're coming for the top of the stretch. Most Wanted still in front, but it's a narrow lead. Tumbarumba is fighting Most Wanted
You
off.
don't want to fight Tumbarumba.
As they head for the 8th pole.
I do.
In the meantime, Indispensable has moved into third. Houday has moved into fourth. 1 furlong to go. Tumbarumba comes away with the lead. Most Wanted is back into second. Tumbarumba once again running his heart out, and he's going to do it. Tumbarumba defeats Most Wanted on the wire. Indispensable third, and Houday fourth.
I didn't like Tumbarumba there, but when he was that close at the quarter pole, I knew there was a chance of that happening. That horse don't quit. He can't run that fast every time, but he don't quit.
Chris, that's the best effort I've ever seen him run.
Yes.
Usually he's not that close. And lately, in his last year or so, Chris, he really hasn't been that game, to be honest with you. That is, I don't know where that effort came from, Matt. I'm sorry, man. But, Most Wanted ran his race. I thought he ran pretty well. Tumbarumba ran a hole in the wind today.
Yeah, I haven't seen him run a race like that ever, and I've never been a fan, but I have noticed he's in for a dogfight.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is going to sound so bitter and so shitty, and you guys can decide for yourself what you think. I knew the race was lost as I saw the betting continuing after they left the gate. And I know that's a massive allegation. I'll just say it's an opinion because I don't want to get sued. You guys saw what the exactas paid before we saw them leave the gate. The 1-2 exacta was a heavily favored exacta. And somehow in the middle of the race, the 1-5 became a heavily favored exacta. The 1-2 slid back. The 5 took all kinds of money. The 1 popped up to 1-4, which isn't easy to do. Yeah, that's some shady shit right there. But at the end of the day, the horse didn't know the difference, and he lost. So that's a tough one to take.
Yeah,
Let's go to Noah, Ryan.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Noah.
No, I don't have much else to add other than that's a Hall of Fame ride from Tyler Gaffleon right there. Pressing the one the whole way, making him work, taking him out of his game. Because even though he earned those big figs here at Churchill and some of those races before he ran in the Forgo, he kind of had things his own way. Especially here when they ran in the Ali Sheba, when he ran a big race against Fierces, had things his own way. That was certainly not the case today, and I think you got to give props to Tyler who put him in a great position. And I thought the 6 and 7 and 8 would kind of swallow him up, but those two dug in, and hats off to Tumbarumba for a big effort.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't think Tumbarumba was going to be the one to win that race when they were going to the half in 45, 3/4, and 109 and change. But to Chris, what Chris said, he really dug in, and he doesn't like losing. Sometimes he can get real game up there.
I got Sandy audio. If you
Ghost of Midnight and Grubauer.
I like the 3 here a bit. This is a great race.
At San Anita,
Chris?
Yeah, I thought this was a great race. I like the 3. But I liked everybody. I just thought it was a real competitive field.
And they're off. Code Duello is very fast. So
Race
is
2,
Grubauer,
San Anita.
and Lawless World comes through on the inside. And then it's Berlin Wall on the pink silks.
Hey, I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Is that cool?
Yes, sir.
Ghost of Midnight is at the back of the field. So it's Lawless World just in front, heading to the half-mile pole, prompted by Berlin Wall in second. And then it's Grubauer in the clear. Miracle Mark is a close-up fourth, taking third into the far turn. Code Duello, who broke well, is now toward the back of the field as they come toward the 3/8 pole. And outside of him is Ghost of Midnight. Lawless World takes him around that turn, leading by a length and a half. Grubauer inches up willingly on the outside of Berlin Wall. Miracle Mark gets a nudge to go on. Code Duello in between horses. Ghost of Midnight outside of that pair. They're covered by 4 lengths with a quarter of a mile to go, and Grubauer, traveling kindly on the outside, is up to challenge for the lead. Lawless World is down at the rail. Code Duello, one from the outside. They're in the final furlong. Berlin Wall not going away. He's in between horses. Grubauer on the outside. Lawless World tough, and Ghost of Midnight is taking off with giant strides. Ghost of Midnight and Abel Lescano blow by them all.
You know how it works. You get beat by your other A.
Photo for fourth between Grubauer and Miracle Mark.
But that's I get that. I had that $30 horse in the first race, and I'm allowed to pick 5 here. So.
Wow.
I only used the 3-5 in what I thought was a tough race, so I think I gained a little equity either way.
Kazushi had a lot of trouble in that race, Ryan. He was loaded in behind and just couldn't find
Nowhere
him.
to
I
go.
thought your 3 on well, Chris. He was in between, and then the 1 was very game. This trip didn't quite work out, but I thought he still ran well at 5-1.
Yeah, he put himself in a tough spot early. That horse actually, before he disappeared, was entered in the San Felipe and vet scratch. So that's why he kind of went on the shelf for a while.
Let's go out to Belmont at the Big A. I'll get the past performances up on the screen here as we have our second sprint stakes coming up here on the dirt. It's the Grade 3 Vosburg. Past performances are making their way up onto the screen. Maybe. Yeah, little horn. I don't know where the horn came from.
It was the bugler at the end of
I'm assuming that was the horn.
Scotland 2-1. Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna wait till you got it up. Go ahead, Ryan.
Live odds currently Scotland 9-5. We have Nash around 6-1. Scratch of the 3 Super Chow, which I think personally is a pretty big scratch, and we'll get to that a little bit later. The number 4, Doc Sullivan, is currently 10-1. Golden Gorilla, longest shot in the field. You have Baby Yoda first off the claim for Falcone, currently 9-1. The 7 Light the Way for Lindo Rice, 24-1. Looking at the live odds, Patriot Spirit currently 3-1, as is Crazy Mason, the number 9. I believe the scratch of Super Chow really, really helps the number 8 Patriot Spirit, who's my top pick in the race. Form is a little, we're going to need to see a step up, but speed is always good, and it's always a threat to have. But let's start down on the rail with Scotland coming out of the Grade 1 Forgo. This horse always seems to run really well, but particularly runs well up at Saratoga. I wonder if maybe this is a tad bit of a kind of horse for course, and I know that's kind of been said all around a lot this week. I know Kaylee Shapiro on our show at the Gallop Out mentioned that as well. But, I mean, he's a hard-trying horse. I just wonder if he's maybe going to be a little bit pace compromised in here. Pat, did you have any thoughts on this race as we're approaching the last of our 5 stake races today at Belmont at the Big A?
Hey, Ryan, can you make the PPs a little bigger? Sorry, Pat.
No, you're good. I've always had a little affinity for Crazy Mason. I've thought this horse, coming from the clouds, gets the outside draw, which I think should appreciate, considering his running style. I always bet this horse underneath in every race he's in, and I'm going to do that again here. I'm hoping there'll be some, pretty quick pace up front, because I think his numbers, are right there. Maybe he's a little cut below on time form to some of the better ones, but he's right there and is running some pretty big time races. So they're not scared to put him in tough spots.
Yeah, definitely not. He's kind of danced almost every dance. They shipped him out west to the Bing Crosby last time out, where he lost to one of the best dirt sprinters in the country in Lovesick Blues. Then came back in the forego. Came
Did
back
you
in
really
the
say
forego.
Surprised Howard did pick his head up for that.
I know.
Yeah,
That's the
it
whole
kind
reason
of
I
took a
said it.
second for me to hit, and I'm like, did he really say that?
Came back in the forego, and I ran well behind Scotland that day, and of course behind Bookham Dano, who knows where he's going to show up next after it being announced that he was skipping the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Crazy Mason, though, he's a hard-trying horse. I just wonder if I don't think he's getting enough pace where he can win. I might be wrong there. But again, to go back to that reverse tri-key, this is kind of that horse, right? I mean, he always comes running late. It's almost a guarantee he's going to gallop out in front of the field because he gets going so late in the race. But I wonder if maybe he's a little bit pace compromised. We have another Pratt and Brad Cox duo at 6-1 right now. That's Nash. On the Derby Trail early on in the career, but that never panned out. Seems to be kind of the one-turn type. I wonder if that two-back 108 buyer was due to the sloppy track, as that was his kind of standalone effort. And I mean, he's failed to replicate that or produce that before. He's capable of the mid-90s. However, we haven't really seen that consistently. And in the AG Vanderbilt, which should be a grade 1, by the way, in the AG Vanderbilt, really just a no-show in there. Maybe it's the Lasix that makes a difference, but he's run well off of it. I don't really know what to make of this horse, but if you like Pratt, you like Godolphin, you like Brad Cox, you get your price.
I like him, Ryan. I look, especially at 6-1, guys. His best race is easily good enough to win this. Now, he's a little bit mercurial. He's inconsistent, no doubt about it. The number 3 not being in this race really helps Nash. I hope Nash breaks well. You know he's going to be ahead of Scotland early. He's going to be on the rail. He could be on the lead, depending on how aggressive Patriot Spirit and Baby Yoda is. This price is shocking to me. So I think either Nash is one of the best overlays of all time and is going to win for me and other people at 6-1, or he's a horrible play and he's 6-1 for a reason. I think he's 6-1, guys, because he doesn't have great form in New York. And he's been inconsistent, but I mean, Brad sends him here with intent. I think people are sleeping on this horse. 6-1 for me is an absolute bargain on this horse.
Is the price? I don't think the price is wrong on him. I think you're finally getting a price based off what he's shown. So if you do think highly of him, because again, I agree, if that 108 was not because of the wet track, that effort wins by open lengths in this field.
Let's just be honest. Look at all the stars, in the column for the odds. This horse, if I check the public filings, probably has more divorce papers filed on him than just about anybody else. And so at some point, people are just done with it. And frankly, I don't know that I've ever bet on him. So at 6-1 to have this kind of upside, I'm with Howard and say, it's not like he's burned me 3 other times and I'm going to feel stupid again. At 6-1, I feel like I'm getting some potential. If he can replicate or even come close to that other effort, you never know.
Well, Chris and Pat, when he broke his maiden in November in Churchill, remember that? He was like the bee's knees. We were talking about a Kentucky Derby, and now look, he's been a little disappointing since. But I'm just, I don't know, Chris. I'll go to you or Pat. I'm just, what are the others? What has Scotland, Patriot Spirit, and Crazy Mason done that there's some kind of like world beaters in this spot?
They haven't. And although I'm spready in this race because I can make cases for everyone, Nash should not be 6-1. There are horses we see all the time that just do not like Saratoga. They don't like the surface. They don't run well. Well, if you go June 13th, this horse he won in a fast race, full of run through the wire. Then he ran second to world record, who after that race, everybody said, oh, this is the next superstar right here. And then he threw a dud. Then he ran on the synthetic and wins in his comeback effort. What else do they want? And with the race before that was a rout, you can toss that. This horse should be, I don't know, I would say 3-1.
I agree. Underachiever says ride the wire. Pat, what's your quick thought as you look through the PPs?
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree. I agree with that comment there. Yeah, going back to after he broke his maiden at Churchill, I remember when he ran in the race at the fairgrounds, which was the Lecomte, against Track Phantom, who went wire to wire that day. And Paul Halloran was very upset after that defeat because obviously the connections and stuff like that. But that was a very that was kind of the race that put Nash. I don't know. I just kind of put him back a little bit, and then obviously he regained his momentum. But now it's just been tough to find him lately.
Ryan, do you need the sound? I have it if you need it.
Yeah, if you have it, we'll go to you for the
Osborne,
sound here.
Presented by Army Mule.
Yep, here it is.
Howard, I'm going to hop off after this race, okay?
And you're in. Breeders' Cup
Good.
Division.
Thank you, Pat.
I'm going to mute and step away, but
Good.
if y'all want to take me off screen, you can, but I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
The Golden Gorilla.
I just want Nash to break, guys, and be up close.
And
That's all
Crazy
That's all I
Mason.
want. Whatever happens after that, I'll accept. I just want Nash to
Laszlo.
break and be a factor early. That's it.
Yep.
Good luck to everyone in the Vosburg.
I just want you to win. That's it.
All set for the Vosburg.
Most important opinion is yours. I can never get that out fast.
And they're off in the Vosburg, presented by Army Mule. Light the way right out towards the front, and here comes Patriot Spirit as with the early kick, and Scotland is a well-placed third at the rail.
Scotland a
Moving
lot
up
closer.
forward. Here comes some running positions from Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda and Doc Sullivan in the red cap. Scotland now moves back to fifth. Then in sixth, that's Nash. Towards the back end of the field, Crazy Mason. And the trailer, the Golden Gorilla, 22.76 for the opening quarter mile. The leader is Light the Way. Light the Way, and Kendrick Carmouche with a neck advantage is being shoved along, though, to keep that supremacy as here comes Patriot Spirit towards the outside, is traveling better. Patriot Spirit, Doc Sullivan, Scotland's now on the move. Scotland at the rail is in fourth, is being encouraged to keep up, and Nash is trying to run on. Baby Yoda's got to pick it up from there. Crazy Mason starts to rally from the back, but far back, and the Golden Gorilla. They reach the top of the stretch. Scotland is just looming in behind the two leaders. The leader is Light the Way, Patriot Spirit. Scotland moves towards the outside. Doc Sullivan's trying to rally on. Crazy Mason starts that roll down towards the inside. Patriot Spirit has now put a neck in front. Scotland, Doc Sullivan, they travel as a pair trying to catch the leader.
Come on, Patriot!
Javier
We'll take
Castellano inside the final 16th. Patriot Spirit is almost there. Patriot Spirit wins the Vosburg, presented by Army Mule. Crazy Mason did rally for second. Scotland, Doc Sullivan, and Light the Way.
Anyone else think that there's a chance that the 8
the Vosburg
came over quite a few paths on the 7 at the top of the stretch there? It looked like he was leaning on the 7. I don't think they'll look at it. I don't think the 7 really had anything in response. Personally, I really hope they don't look at it, because that was the single in all of my sequences at Belmont at the Big A. So I'm hoping that and a win bet too, Matt. So don't worry. I didn't just leave. I didn't just leave it as a single.
We'll have to see the head on. I see what you're saying, but I don't think the 7 was much of a factor there, and so
I don't think
probably
so
not. I'm very disappointed in Nash. I was wrong. He didn't break. This horse has to break. He didn't break out of the gate, and then he was too far back. He didn't run very well, so I was wrong.
Well, I know we didn't, show the race, obviously, but I encourage everybody to go and watch the race back, because you can see with Scotland, I think specifically, what happens when you get a closer in a sprint race up too close to the pace, where it kind of dulls that late kick, because he had to get used a little bit early. Crazy Mason made his run flying up the rail. That's just such a hard trying horse. I believe he galloped out in front too. But yes, a horse like Scotland, he was a lot closer today, and he kind of made a middle move a little bit and sustained it coming around the turn, but then kind of flattened out around the 16th pole. And I wonder if that's because he was maybe a little too close to a pace that I don't want to. I mean, it kind of held together, but it wasn't a blazing hot pace for going 7 furlongs. There was no half mile time posted, I should note. It was 22 and then right to 109. For the 3/4. So whenever that gets corrected, I'm curious what they went to the half.
Pat, I know you got to get going, Pat, and we appreciate you being on. I think this is a great example of last time was the time. Scotland had the numbers. Guys, he was 12-1 last time. Paul Haller and I bet him in the Forgo. We ran a monster race against Bookham Dano, and now he's 6 times less the price. I mean, this is a gambling game. And yes, I was wrong with Nash. Completely wrong. He didn't break. He didn't run great. I was wrong. But I was right about Scotland. And if you fade a favorite, and then, that really goes a long way, Pat. So I don't know what your feeling was on Scotland coming into this race, but you got to play the board and make those kind of decisions, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a very good point because, you have to, brush those races away and look at the odds in that race because it's that type of game where, you gotta look at it from a standpoint of, wanting to make money and being smart about it and not gambling on something that's, way worse odds than what it was in the past.
Yeah, it's a game of value. You nailed it right on the head there, Pat. And yeah, Howard too. Good. You missed the wedding on Scotland. Last time was the time in the forego. Jackson Muniz would attest that was off of a biased track 3-back for him now in that race where he can't, the race prior to him running second in the forego. He backed up that with the second place performance, obviously. But yeah, now you get 2-1 in a race with not much pace. So I'm personally happy. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
It's just interesting. If you have the opinion of fading Scotland, I'd say, wow, they just handed you this race on a silver platter. You have 2 and 3-1 on the 2 leading contenders. They come in 1-2. I think the exacta pays something like 11 or 12-1. Like you just crushed it. If your opinion was simply, I don't like Scotland and I'm going to play the other logicals here. You didn't need to get as far away as Nash or something as creative unless you actually liked him. But even if you just said, I don't like Scotland or think he's worth the value, we could have made a ton of money on this race just with that opinion alone if we felt strongly enough.
Agreed. We got
to say goodbye to Pat, right?
Oh, yeah. You're right. We got to say goodbye to Pat. Pat, thanks so much for joining us for the first couple hours of this show. Have a good one.
Had a blast. Yeah, thanks, guys. Had a blast. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Pat. Take care.
Later, Pat.
Before we get to
killing New York on horse journeys and horse players.
I love it. Before we get out to little bro in the paddock, Howard, how's the pick 6 coming along at Belmont at the Big A? I hope we're alive.
I want to take a guess on who was favored in the pick 3 in that Belmont race.
I'm going to say the 8.
I know the 8 caught a ton of money in the horizontals.
Patriot Spirit was a slight favorite in the pick 3 and went off at 5-2. So
yeah.
Interesting. By the way, Crazy Mason's really frustrating for people that like closers because he always runs his race, but he just needs, Matt, what just cracks me up, and we'll go to Noah here in a second, but people crap on Sierra Leone. I don't, and I don't think you do either in general. This is Sierra Leone is nothing compared to Crazy Mason. All this horse does is close and not get there in big races. I mean, it's a nice horse, but talk about a horse that needs a complete pace meltdown. It's Crazy Mason.
Well, yes. And your Crazy Mason fans, wait till winter when you get that heavy winterized track at New York, when everybody gets to struggling, and that's when he's going to pick up pieces and get his wins. I know he's a nice horse, but he is very, very slow for a half mile.
He did that last winter at Aqueduct or earlier this year. It was exactly what you said.
When you start seeing those slow times during the winter and that track is winterized, it's – a 7 furlong race might play like a 7 1/4 furlong race. It's harder for him to get there, and they're going to tire out, and he's going to pick them up.
Noah's got a good look at the paddock, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. Noah, we're going to you. Paddock, before this race here, we have a brief break from the stakes races, but you have some stakes quality runners in here. We're going to mile and a 16th on the dirt. Optional claimer, $100,000.
How about the camera work, ladies and gentlemen? This is fantastic. You don't get this anywhere else.
No,
I didn't change professions.
That's for sure.
I really wish Pat was here to attest because I thought this race was absolutely impossible. The 10 is 8-5, who I actually had on top on the show. And speaking of your 10-foot poles, Matt, I wouldn't touch this horse with 10-foot poles at 8-5, and neither would I touch the 9 at 5-2. I thought it was a wide open race, and I mean, if anyone outside of those 2 wins, I'd be pretty happy because I played a pick 3, and I think I got like 7 horses. So we'll see what happens, but I'd be price shopping here.
I like it. Price shopping in a very competitive, I believe, 11-horse field going forward here. Anybody on the show right now, Howard? Maybe do you have any thoughts here in race number 9 at Churchill Downs?
Respectfully, I do not. I haven't looked at it, so I'll pass it on to someone else.
All right, Matt. Any thoughts in here?
Well, I could always generate them quickly by at least looking at the will pace to see if anything looks crazy to me. And yeah, I'd expect the odds on the 9 to come down and the odds on the 10 to come up a bit. But there seems to be a fair amount of separation after the 9 and 10, at least in the betting. So I didn't look at this one that carefully. This seemed literally, it just seemed too hard and not worth it. But if you're playing multis or whatnot and need to get through, 9 and 10 seem pretty likely to lock it up.
Yeah, I agree. The 9 is one of my top plays in this sequence. Definitely was my single in the pick 5. That's now defunct because Most Wanted decided to not get the job done. But Chris, any thoughts here in the 9th at Churchill Downs?
I know the 10's a short price right now, but I like the 10 over the 3 and 9 exacta. But my main play, which even shocked me when I made it, is I'm playing a double with the 10 and the Mystic Dan in the one of the contests I'm in. If somebody's in this contest and they're on here listening, do you want to play it too? Go ahead, be my guest. Because if you have a lot of faith in Mystic Dan, more power to you, because that's just where I landed.
Now, let's have a quick conversation about Mystic Dan, and then we'll get back in here. Obviously, with BJ Hernandez on the mend, and hope he gets well soon. Francisco Arrieta is booked to ride. He rode Mystic Dan at Oaklawn. Mystic Dan clearly loves this track. And Brian would always give him the same ride, glue to the rail, come through down there, because no jockey in North America ever stays on the rail the entire race, especially when they turn for home. So he'd always kind of get that rail skimming ride. I don't know that he's that grade 1 caliber horse, but this race seems to have his name written all over it. There's not a ton of pace. He's a horse that can kind of sit. Noah did look like he was parachuting into the track a little bit, or at least dropped his phone from the back of a horse the way it was tumbling around before we went to the paddock shots. But no matter. Chris, did you think anything of that in the next race with Brian Hernandez not being the mount on Mystic Dan?
Well, I sure don't love it. As I mentioned the race prior, you're missing your dance partner. But Arrieta did ride him at Oaklawn and did a good job on pole. He took Saudi Crown all the way to the wire that day. And my biggest opinion is, besides Banishing, who has done amazing things that I've never seen horses do before, the rest of this field just don't intrigue me at all.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Banishing, I know this horse can run at 6 furlongs, 6.5, a mile and an eighth, a mile, 2 turns, 1 turn, 3 turns. He don't care.
It is. Banishing is a phenomenal horse, and one that seems to just dance every dance no matter where he shows up. And it is wildly impressive to watch him run. But let's go back to Noah. Noah, they're getting ready to head out onto the track here for race number 9. You got a fresh haircut, I see, going down, ready for Churchill, ready for the show, ready for Keeneland next week. But who do you like in here? And is it a matter of price shopping? Or do you think one of these two favorites looks to be a standout on stature?
What the hell, man? You don't throw me under the bus like that.
How did I throw you under the bus? I actually like the haircut.
Oh, you do? Oh, I didn't hear the nice part.
That part wasn't sarcastic.
Okay. I'm taking a look at the board right now. Most of you might be interested to hear this. I actually spoke to a gentleman by the name of Matt Bernier a little bit earlier, and he made a pretty good case for the 6 in here, who's sitting at 25-1. Won last April at Evangeline and has run here since 3 times. And he said he thought you could make 3 legitimate excuses for all of those races. So I get it. You could probably get out of here with 9-10, but if you're trying to make a win bet, I'd probably look elsewhere. I think you can make cases for the 2 and 3. I've got the 5 on there, Ryan Cat. That's a little inside joke for us. And then I've got the 9-10, and I think the win bet might even be the 11. If things really fall apart, I think the 11's got some numbers to go back to. She's kind of a Kentucky-based runner. So if I were to put a win bet on anyone, I think it'd probably be all the way to the downside.
Yeah, I don't hate a lot of those points. I'm happy you're finally putting some money on the 5 for Cat's Cave. Hopefully you can get yourself into the winner's circle there. I'm with you though. I think the number 3 Pagal, that seems to be the runner offering the best kind of value for some of the back races you can get to. Again, the 9 Perfect Shot to me is the horse that's going to get the majority of my money, but I'll play some some exactas both ways, the 9 and the 3. I am going to try and play against the 10 here just because Standout Sensation, I think, really just likes the wet track and then popped at Saratoga as well. And definitely a good horse, but one I think you could try and play against in a spot like this. Chris, you mentioned that you're playing some doubles and you like, I'm sorry, remind me again, it was the
I'm playing
9.
the 10 into the 5 in the next Mystic Dan. And and you make a good point about the Saratoga and wet track, and maybe that's the case, but he gets a good jockey. Last time this horse kind of got buried on the rail and won 1.8 miles with ease. And that was Saratoga. Now you come to Churchill, which, he's ran well here before. I think this horse is going to be very tough to beat if he gets a trip. And I think he's got a guy that's pretty good at guiding him around the track.
He is. He's pretty good. With Irad Ortiz being aboard. We're about 1 minute to post here, so I'll get the audio ready to play. And then, of course, we have more action out at Belmont at the Big A coming up after this one with an exciting end of both of these cards. And a reminder, this does start the late $3 pick 3 at Churchill Downs. It's the new wager here, 15% takeout as the tracks are doing now. Very player friendly, no real CAW influence in here. So a good sequence, and one I think you could press up if you really want to, if you have those strong opinions, especially going into the next race and the last race. So good luck to everybody. I hope, whatever you end up wagering in here, I hope you're right. My money's going on the 9. Chris likes the 10, and Noah is rooting for Cat's Cave to run them off their feet.
Hey, Ryan, Howard.
Yep.
I'm right by the gate. Are we allowed to show that, or should I advise for it's a safe side?
You can show everything up until the race actually starts.
Oh, okay, cool. You guys want to see a gate? You guys ever seen a gate before?
Wow.
Gate?
Hey, it's a gate.
Look at that. Why are all those people at the gate?
I'm not sure why,
man.
Chris.
Go out there.
Should I jump this fence right here?
Yes.
If you want to get arrested, sure.
Stand right in the middle of the gate, and when they break, wave your arms.
Yep. Act like you're one of the gate crew. Just wave them on in.
That's
many
important
does?
of you know, because we have a picture of a lovely twin spire. One of the spires in the background
We
right
do.
now.
Yeah,
By that,
perfect.
on
The other one?
shot. There we go. There's the other one.
Yeah, speaking of the background, Noah, you jumped on this show, and the first thing you said is there isn't a cloud in the sky. There hasn't not been a cloud in any you've had.
One thing I've noticed, y'all love to give Noah shit.
Yep.
If
Thank
it's a
you,
haircut,
Chris. Thank
clouds,
you.
It don't matter what it is.
He's the only one whose hair blows in the wind. He's got it coming at him. He's got something to do with this.
Hey,
We
Noah,
have,
just a little on-track suggestion if it gets a little warm, because I've been on track on hot days. See the Stephen Foster show that we did. Those special seats, that for the Derby, those $15,000 seats that are just behind the winner's circle. Good place to just chill and relax in the shade and sit on a couch. I'm sure there's almost no one in there.
There pretty much is no one in there. Maybe I should go over and do that after this race.
As we get ready for this race at Churchill Downs, we are also 3 minutes away from Santa Anita's third race. Race number 4 at Santa Anita is the Shoemaker Mile, featuring the return of Johannes, who is 7 for 7 at Santa Anita. So possible chances for some doubles playing into that one. You currently have a 3-5 favorite at Santa Anita in Cashed for Doug O'Neill, Umberto Rispoli. We have a maiden special weight race for, I believe it's the Calbred 2-year-olds, if I remember correctly. Yes, for fillies as well. So interesting race coming up here. And we'll stick with Churchill Downs for now. Do you have audio, Howard, or am I getting it?
No, I thought I thought you just switched. I don't have it. No.
Oh, I got it.
I thought something just happened as if I thought you now have it.
No worries. I got it. 1 second.
That double of cashed into Johannes for $1 is paying $4.60.
And I'm
Yes.
surprised it pays that.
For $2, it's paying $4.60.
Oh, I forget about
$2.
that.
There's
Sorry.
the gate.
Yeah.
I'm
Now
still
it's-
surprised. I thought this 5 was like a 4
And
to
they're
5.
off. Everland mid-pack
Can we
fires
hear it?
out of there. Standout Sensation comes on, and Pigalle to Rose Palace toward the inside,
You
and
guys
that
can hear
put
the audio,
Legadima
right?
in a very tight spot. She checked so hard and is shuffled all the way to the back of the pack. A tough time of it for Legadima in the opening furlong.
Irad's in a perfect spot
Pigalle down
again. What a
inside is
shocker.
up for the lead now. Standout Sensation's going to run along in second as they work their way to the backstretch run. Neon Icons just off them, 3 wide racing third. Perfect Shot on the far outside. Fourth, Cat's Cave moves up in between. Fifth, Everland, Save Ground inside. Sixth, Rose Palace coasting along. Seventh, and Just My Heels is eighth. Gran Maria's racing in ninth. Legadima, after that tough start, second to last. And at the back with Non-Violence. Relatively tight pack down the backstretch run because the opening quarter was soft, 24-2 to a 48-4 half mile. A moderate pace for Pigalle. But Standout Sensation is right alongside her and is ratcheting up the pressure. Standout Sensation and Pigalle. Now these two full throttle around the far turn. Perfect Shot with a menacing move. 3 wide now, second. And from far behind, and Just My Heels is launching a wide rally outside of Neon Icon. Cat's Cave in behind them. They're off the turn. Standout Sensation shrugs off that first challenge of Perfect Shot and darts away by 2. In the meantime, and Just My Heels continues to rally, is now second, trying to reel in Standout Sensation, clear by 4 with a 16th to go. In Just My Heels, Gran Maria on the outside, down to the wire. Standout Sensation is a 2-length winner.
Okay, survive in advance.
You know what makes Irad so good, guys? Unlike some other jockeys we've seen that I won't mention on the lead, the minute that 9 came up to him, he asked a little bit. Like, he didn't wait for the 9. Chris, you've ridden before. He didn't wait for the 9 to get, like, shoulder to shoulder and then try to get cheeky with him and try to, like, outfight him. He saw the 9 coming up, and when the 9 was about, right to his buttocks, basically, but, like, about a half length, he immediately asked and made the 9 work that much harder.
You've seen that patented Irad shoulder tap, right? When that
those subtle decisions, Chris, are just so important.
Another big difference in Irad, Paco would have been doing this.
Well,
Irad, like, if he looked back, it was very, very subtle.
Here's Jacqueline Lucas.
All right, we have them loading into the gate at Santa Anita. I took a little shot with the double. I went with the 3 Billie Holiday. I thought had some excuses on debut for Nick Alexander, so I'll take a little shot playing a double into Johannes. But Cash, obviously, very deserving favorite outside speed and a horse that has had some nice races and just keeps.
Ryan, you're going against Dougie Fresh? Are you allowed?
I'm going against Dougie Fresh.
Are you allowed to do that?
I don't know. We'll see. If he texts me and he's upset, then
And they're off. A smooth start for the heavy favorite Cashed, and Final Table Lady has plenty of early gas and is quickest early on. Tammy Baby is in third through the opening stages, then Billie Holiday and Jacqueline Lucas trails. It's Final Table Lady and Cashed head and head. Final Table Lady trying to maintain that lead, has it 3/4 of a length. Cashed is a tugging second. It's a gap of 3 lengths then. Back to Billie Holiday, Jacqueline Lucas, and Tammy Baby inside of them. Around the far turn, and Final Table Lady is the target for Cashed, who appears to be cruising past the 3/8 pole. Cashed on the outside has the upper hand, and Cashed now puts her head in front, coming to the quarter pole. 3 back to Billie Holiday in third. They pass the quarter pole and turn for home, and Cashed in hand takes command and opens up 3 at the top of the stretch. Final Table Lady, Billie Holiday, followed by Jacqueline Lucas and Tammy Baby. It's a 1-horse race coming to the 16th pole, and it's Cashed clear by 5. Good battle for second, but a no doubt about it performance from Cashed under Umberto Rispoli, scoring by 3.
Hey, Matt, could you look at New York and do your magic and tell me if the doubles of the 1 into the 2 and 9 are going to take some great big change?
Yep. 1 second.
Belmont at the Big A is what we have next here, so we'll get ready to head out that way. Just because we can, should we show race number 9, a nice little allowance event from Woodbine, just while we have a couple minutes? Howard, any thoughts?
I'm sorry. Woodbine, I did not look at Woodbine today.
I didn't either,
but
but we have a nice allowance race coming up for the feature with some decent horses. I was just going to throw it up there, but we don't have to.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I may make it an executive decision, since people are probably playing East Coast more, let's talk about Belmont race 10.
Let's do it. To it.
It's six minutes. It's a relatively wide open turf sprint.
It is 5-2 favorite right now. That's Sanane down on the rail for Brad Cox. Manny Franco is riding. I'll get the past performances up on the screen in just 1 second here as my computer's.
How much time was there to Woodbine, Ryan?
Oh, they're out. They're out of the gate already.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can show the video on that, but that's okay.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's not an issue. All right,
Tom,
we'll
you're correct. Cash was on the wrong lead, Tom.
Yes.
I don't love the way that horse finished. But anyway, speaking of finishing, people should finish. If people want to finish first at Keeneland, they should think about right there, right above my right above my left shoulder there. That is a QR code for the Keeneland Power Pick tip sheet, ladies and gentlemen. It's Keeneland only Power Pick tip sheet. It's a QR code. Just point your camera at the phone, just like Matt is doing right there. It's profitable. It's inexpensive. Our Keeneland Power Pick tip sheets come out Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays throughout the fall. Keeneland meet ridden by myself, Paul Halloran, and Noah Maher. So check it out. We'll leave that green QR code on the top right hand of the screen for a little bit.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about this race. Open allowance, non-winners of one other than race at Belmont at the Big A, going 6 furlongs over the outer course. Rail Horse is your current favorite in Sanan for Brad Cox, Manny Franco, as I mentioned, for Goldfarb and some others. This one won at a mile last time out after finishing a nose earlier in the summer at Belmont, here at Belmont at the Big A to quiet confidence on the grass, going the 6 furlong distance. Moving on to Jackie the Joker in post position 2. This one's taken a substantial step up in class, along with a surface switch. Deserved long shot in here, but you got to like the practical joke influence as far as sprints go. Maybe this wakes her up a little bit. Number 3, Girls Rock, Whitworth Beckham, who can certainly train more than his fair share of winners. Lost a shoot at True last time out at Saratoga, but now gets 6 furlongs to work with and might be able to improve a little bit as he gets out to his longest distance on turf in his career. Has some competitive numbers, at least to figure underneath a little bit. 4 and the 5 are both scratched. The number 6, Leslie's Humor, is the next one. Chad Brown, Dylan Davis for LSU Stables, who own and train Farbridge. 5.5 last time. A little disappointing behind She's Got Will and some others. Broke at post position number 11 that time at Saratoga, which is always tough. Second off the bench for Chad Brown. Maybe Leslie's Humor can take another step forward. Drew a little better in post position 6. Number 7, Upon a Star, Mike Maker, Flavian Pratt, 3 Diamonds Farm team up. Current odds are 6-1, which I very much like with the number 7. Trying turf for the first time. They tried to get this one on last time when trained by Wesley Ward. That one was rained off over the sloppy surface. Got the win, broke the maiden that day. Now gets onto turf. Munnings, an excellent sprint influence. Your current favorite has switched since we started talking. It is now the number 8, Isle of Capri. Brendan Walsh, Kendrick Carmouche team up. This one you'd have to imagine is going to get back out to the front with Kendrick booked to ride today. Last time out, a little bit off the pace when ridden by Ben Curtis and didn't really have that same sort of turf effort. Seems to be best when sprinting. So we'll see Isle of Capri if she can get back to her winning ways. The number 10 Solo Shot, Lolita Shomingal, Rajiv Mirage, Romero Mirage. Mirage is riding. And this
That's
one
Romero.
is
Romero.
Thank you.
Rajiv is on at Gulfstream.
That's right. Thank you. This one stretching out back out to 6 furlongs like he did in the Jay Hettinger Stakes. Didn't run too well that day, but Sunday Girl kind of took it to him in there, and you can see the time form pace had that as a pretty slow race. So this one's going to get back out. Can maybe come flying late. This one might gets Lasix for the first time in the career. A little bit odd for a 4-year-old, first time Lasix. Maybe that's a bit of a wake-up angle. The numbers are at least competitive, especially those last 2 at Saratoga going the 5.5. Was able to close relatively nicely, only beaten by a length and 3/4 in that effort 2 back versus She's Got Will and some others. Whereas the who was it that I was just looking at? Was it the 6? The 6 was beaten 3 lengths in that same race and is about, I don't know, quick math, about half the price. Actually, they're about the same price right now, looking at the live odds. So that's your field. I'm going to take Flavien Prat in this spot. I like it, Nick. Good luck. 27 to win on the one, says Matt. I'm going to take Flavien Prat and Mike Maker at 6 to 1. That feels like too good of a price to turn down, at least for me at this point. But the one, Sanan, certainly deserving horse to be vying for favoritism, along with the 8, Isle of Capri. So anybody have any thoughts on this race, as we're about a minute to post out at Belmont at the Big A?
Very interesting fun fact for everyone. The 7, the 8, who are breaking next to each other from different barns, full sisters to each other.
Oh, nice. I did not
wonder
notice
if they're going to recognize each other at the gate.
Look at that. They are.
How about that?
Huh. How about that? Yeah, Hostville for not recognizing that. But maybe the 8 thought of a little bit more, bought for $250,000, whereas little sister, or I guess older sister, only $100,000.
And you got to rub that in your sibling's face too.
That's right. That's a good point, Howard. Not often you see full siblings race against each other, let alone in neighboring stalls.
Think about it a little differently, though. I mean, if that was you, and like right before a race, you saw like a long lost, like you're not going to want to run a race. You're going to want to like talk and stuff. So this might screw up both of them real bad.
Depends on if you like.
And that leads to Sanan just running away with it. I love the logic there, Matt. Very interesting race as they are approaching the gate here. Sanan was not favored last time out and got the job done after a bit of a rough start. So you'd have to imagine if she starts sharply as she has in the past, that might even help her chances here. One last look at the odds. You're currently getting 5 to 2 on the one. Sorry to interrupt you, Chris. Go ahead.
Little shocking at the price.
I thought this race was. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, loading into the gate, I will get the audio going. You have it queued up, yeah, Howard? I see it, I think, on the waiting room.
Chris, you're at 20 and 15.
Upon a star.
Thank you.
You know, Ryan, I'll go and do the audio for the rest, so we don't keep going back and forth. I'll show the audio. It's all good.
Thank you.
It's a pretty wide open race.
Solo shot.
We'll see what happens.
To the outside.
I'm very spreading the pick 6 here. We are.
I will say one Ryan didn't mention the three I watched work for debut. She can run
towards the outside, just goes right to the front, and here's Jackie the Joker now gonna apply the pressure and in between horses. Girls Rock, lineup of 3, and now backing off of that tempo's Girls Rock. So the leader is Jackie the Joker. Jackie the Joker up by a full length. Isle of Capri still traveling very nicely there in second. Girls Rock is joined to the inside by Kinane and tight here at the rail. 3 wide in that group is going to be Solo Shot. Second to last is Leslie's Humor, and the trailer Upon a Star.
Boy, it's a 6 pulling.
21 and 4. For that opening quarter mile, Jackie the Joker made it look easy. Sprinting around this far turn now. Isle of Capri is back to within a neck of the leader. Solo Shot is following that move. Kinane is at the rail looking for a space. Dropping back was Girls Rock is back to 5th. They reach the top of the lane. Can Jackie the Joker keep going? Holding that position, Isle of Capri. Kinane nowhere to go. Manny Franco wants out of there. And here's the clear running path for Leslie's Humor. Just swarms the field. Look at this run. Dylan
Get
Davis,
this horse
Leslie's
home.
Humor in a flash.
Huge.
Open up
She got home.
field.
She got home.
Rock, who's run up in a second. Unlucky third for Kinane, but give it to Leslie's Humor. Leslie's Humor.
One never had a chance.
In 1 minute 7.92 seconds.
Yeah.
That's big for the pick 6, boys. Very big for the pick 6 for us. Huge.
Nice job,
massive for our
Nicely
pick
done.
6 bet.
I agree. Massive.
And that's why I play in Howard's pick 6 and play mine separately.
That one was the best horse, though. Let's call it like it is.
Yeah, and
the one got really unlucky. The one was the best horse in the race.
And we talk about it a lot. I don't want to criticize guys. Stuff happens fast out there on your own animals, but right there coming off the turn, you got to take that spot. There was a small seam there, and when you hesitate, that seam is gone. Mm-hmm. You have to go.
Who was riding the one?
Agree. That was
Manny, who's been riding very well.
Very well.
On home. But like I said, things happen very fast on a horse when it's not walking and trotting. You know, You know, you got, and then when there's other horses around and you got to make decisions, it makes it seem twice as fast.
Agreed. That was race number 10 of, I think they have 12 today at Belmont at the Big A, if not 13. We will go out to Churchill here in just a moment as they are getting ready for their second graded stakes of the day. Mystic Dan currently even money. Banishing is 3-1.
Wow.
So we'll when we go through the whole betting field actually from the rail out. Starting with the rail, Willie D's is 12-1. Hit Show is 4-1. Rattle and Roll is 9-1. Prince of Power 36-1. Mystic Dan even money. Disarm 7-1. And Banishing is 3-1. We have Noah, who has just joined us back, but I think he's getting into the paddock and getting settled, so he will join us in just a minute as this is going to kick off our late double at Churchill Downs.
Hey, Chris, even though the 6 was huge for everyone in our Pick 6 group, because not only do we have them on our press-up ticket, we have them on our backup ticket also. So now we're like 8 deep in the next race at 6-1. But to be very honest, that's the example why I don't like turf sprints, because the best horses, get in more trouble than normal because it's only 6 furlongs. And, as much as I'm happy about the 6, if anyone had the 1, I feel awful for you because that was just a brutal situation.
Yeah, and it is, but that's racing. At this point, I feel like I bet the correct horse, and I can't fault Manny for saving ground because I want you to save ground. We're turf racing. And he didn't take the seam like I would be the perfect situation, but that also happens. I've had a hell of a day over here, very quietly. That would have even increased it, but it's okay. I'm out in the New York contest, but I know I've had a big day, and you can be right and lose.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Or win.
Sometimes I would rather just be wrong, but.
That's no doubt, Tony. That is absolutely huge. And I don't want to just say for me, there's a group of 7 of us today that are playing. But we're not home yet. This is actually interesting. We should talk about the ticket a little bit, guys, as we go along here. Although we got to bring on Noah for the big race at Churchill when he's ready. Is Noah ready? I don't see him, but
no, not yet. So we can talk about the pick 6.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question, because Matt and Chris, you both have pieces of this ticket, right? Yes, you do. If the 5 wins, who I assume is going to be the favorite in the next race, I'm assuming. If the 5 wins, then we will have 5 horses in the last race plus press-ups. If the 5 doesn't win, we still have 3 horses, but we have some prices in the next race. So would you rather get some prices in the next race, not be pressed up, and only be 3 deep in the last race? Or would we rather take what I think is going to be the chalk here, have more horses in the last race, and be pressed up? What do you think we want to have happen? Basically, a favorite or a price the next race is the big question. And It's not as obvious as you think, because if we beat the favorite, that's going to really juice it up. But then we have less horses to cash in the last race.
Price, because you're, and I'm not being critical, your press ups aren't like 10 times or 20 times.
No.
When you press up, it's 2 or 3 times. And so I think the benefit you get out of a price horse based on the way you bet is way higher. So listening to you talk actually is making me want to bet a little bit to win on Mystic Dan.
Speaking of Mystic Dan, Pat, I think Noah's ready. I just saw him in the paddock.
He was.
Maybe.
There we go.
All right, we got the big race. Go ahead, Ryan. Noah, take it away.
Here we go. Noah's live from the paddock before the race number 10, the Grade 2 Lucas Classic out at Churchill Downs. Noah, who looks the best? Excellent camel work, as usual.
Well, you're looking at your Derby winner from last year right now. I'm sure our group has mixed feelings about that. Willie D's is on your screen now. Was thinking about going to New York, but opted to run here. He seems to be a speedy threat. He's getting pretty close to me here now. There's a little birdie that told me that our good buddy Jackson's alive to Mystic Dan for a pretty nice score in the Twin Spires contest. So I'd be rooting for him. I've been horrible today, and I don't like Mystic Dan, which is a very big green flag for Jackson. So I might as well just put that ticket in the machine now. I like Vanishing a little bit. I just thought he was the one that could be closest to a pace that doesn't look like there's a ton of it in this race. If Tyler's able to work out a trip from the outside post, which there's only 7 of them, so hopefully he's able to do that. I know he got caught a little wide in the blame about 3 or 4 starts back, and that was here at Churchill Downs. Didn't run very well in that race, and he was wide in the Charlestown race last time. I'm really hoping that Tyler's able to tuck in maybe 2 wide just off the speed and kind of get the first jump. But any combo, I'd be thrilled for the group.
I like it. Well, I got to root for Mystic Dan for Jackson. I like this horse as well. Chris, if I'm not mistaken, you also need Mystic Dan here.
Yeah, I'm all in a Twin Spires contest as well, but it is a different one than Jackson. Me and Jackson already knew we were a different contest. So I'm just in the cash one. We'll have to Mystic Dan.
Well, there we go. We both get to root for Mystic Dan together. And Noah doesn't like Mystic Dan, so that's got to be a vote of confidence. Because he said he loved Most Wanted today. Noah?
Yeah, no, that's all correct. I got nothing against it.
All right, perfect. All right, we're going a mile and an eighth here, excuse me. Willie D's from the rail. I'll get the past performances up on the screen. Let me see if I have the right ones. Or we can stay. Howard, do you want to stay live to the full paddock view until we go out to the track?
Your call.
Let's stay with Noah until the horses leave and go on to the track here, as he has a pretty nice view for us. For anybody that likes to see how the horses look as they head out.
Hey,
Noah, I'm sure you can hear me. Once the last horse clears, you can literally sort of run up there and just walk right behind the horses through the tunnel if you want. You don't have to wait for the owners and trainers because you are special media, my friend.
Yeah, I'm special, all right.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Noah.
Where's Disarm?
Well, he's a closer, so he's coming. He's bringing up the rear.
Did he already go out? Did I miss that? It just went 5-7. We didn't get a 6-7 like I would have preferred.
Oh, nice.
What do you think of Disarm, Noah? I know Disarm's a very frustrating for a horse. I've bet him before. I'm sick of losing with him. I mean, he classes up here, but he just never gets the damn job done.
Yeah, I'd give him a look. It seems like Asmussen's kind of thrown him to the wolves ever since he had that foot issue and he was off for a while. We kind of weren't sure if he would kind of get back to what we thought he was going to be. But I mean, he's got figures in those very good races that he's run. I mean, he ran fine in the Jockey Club World Cup. I know the race before that, he ran a big third at a big price. So there's no question that this is an easier field that he's facing today. It's just whether he really wants to get himself back into the winner's circle.
Yeah, that's a good point, Noah. And he's run competitive figures, but he's another one that just hasn't gotten the job done quite yet. Feels like the longer the better, but then he still doesn't really get there. Maybe the mile and an eighth is going to be the distance for him. As you mentioned, he ran a huge third in the Grade 1 Whitney, but he got a decent pace set up that day. Not sure the kind of pace he's going to get today, but we can go through that here as I'll put the past performances up on the screen so we can go through them. Maybe. Let me see here. Oh, Howard's got it.
Oh, my bad.
That was me. There we go. All right. Past performance. Oh,
you're good. You're good. You're good. Go ahead. You're good.
Okay. We'll go through the past performances. Part of the pace is going to come from the rail horse and Willie D's. You got to imagine both the rail draw and this horse has some early speed where 2 and 3 back victories came when this horse went to the lead. And while he's passed horses in the past, he typically does his best when he is up on the front end. And if Luis Saez has the lead when they turn for home, not many people can pass Luis Saez in the stretch. So he's maybe a little bit of a look at currently around 8-1. Next, we'll go to Hit Show. He won the Dubai World Cup over one of the greatest West Coast horses of all time in Mixto, I still can't believe that. But Hit Show has come back, and he ran okay in the Stephen Foster, but he came back to win the West Virginia Governor Stakes at Mountaineer, going the mile and a 16th. Obviously, this is a bit of a step up from there, but he's handled the likes of these in the past, so possibly one that could get the job done. Currently 7-2 if you like him. Rattle and Roll coming out of the Dubai World Cup as well. he's fresh off of a substantial layoff, as he hasn't run since April 5th, as I mentioned, in that Dubai World Cup. So he ran in this race last year, and he ran third. And then the year before, he ran in this race and ran fourth. So third time, maybe the charm for him in the mile and an eighth Lucas Classic. Next, you have Prince of Power, and you'd have to imagine this one has to go to the lead early. This one, really no reason to be in the race if you're not going to use a speed horse to his advantage. So this one could help set it up for a horse like Mystic Dan, who's going to kind of try and sit that pocket trip, I would imagine. Regular rider BJ Hernandez is recovering, so you get Francisco Arrieta, who is aboard 4-back in the Lake Ochita Stakes when running a nose-behind Saudi Crown, where he tied his career best Beyer speed figure. So this is one to keep an eye out for, without a doubt. Especially if he can sit that nice trip. And I think he's the one that we're all going to be rooting for, as a number of us are alive to Mystic Dan. Next, we have Disarm, who we've talked about, really needs that pace setup, but is going to be flying late, maybe one to round out those tries, maybe one of those key horses. And then the kind of Swiss Army knife of runners in Banishing. Currently around 5-2, not sure what the live odds are. 5-2 right now on Banishing, who really dances every dance. And Chris mentioned whether it's 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, he can handle it all. And he always seems to run such a bang-up race. I can't count all. I think in the last 12 races, he's been out of the exacta once, which is just a phenomenal, talent for a horse that's gone anywhere from 6 furlongs to a mile and an eighth in those 12 races. So sloppy track, dry track, again, it does not matter. This is a horse that you can almost guarantee is going to show up and show his best race. So he's certainly one that's very interesting in here. And you get 5-2, which is not a bad price at all for a horse that you know is going to be consistent and show up.
This is the horse I picked up in the double from last race. And I'm pretty psyched. Double prices were good. 5-2 seems about right, maybe a teeny bit short, but he shows up every time. And by the way, the times that he shows up the best, he's like rolling like a freight train. And I'm always really jealous, thinking how much more fun it would be to be on that horse than the one I'm on, because he gets rolling. And so we'll see if we have something to cheer for today.
For reasons that some of you know, I almost sprained several fingers typing in Mystic Dan as a spot play on my power pick tip sheet, as I've never given him out as a spot play before. And again, if you know, you know. 8-5 right now, Noah. How do you feel about Mystic? I know you don't like Mystic Dan, so I guess you're going to say that 8-5 is a complete underlay and a big over bet here. I think that's a fair price on him. I think he is the horse to beat.
Yeah, I would probably agree. I think my judgment is being clouded whenever I see him in the past performances. I'm sure you experience something similar. I wouldn't get too creative. I think 5-7 make a lot of sense. I want to ask you guys: is it a negative that Brian's not on Mystic Dan, and how big of a negative is that? Because Brian just time and again figures out how to get him in spots that he works out from the rail, and just not to have him on a horse, especially like this, where he's taken advantage of that so many times. Obviously you feel more confident if he was on. Arrieta's very talented, obviously, but I think it's something to think about.
I'm so hesitant to question a Hall of Fame trainer like Kenny McPeak and say that I know better for a jockey for your horse. So as much, Noah, as I agree with what you're saying about these observations, there's just no way we're right. And he's cool enough to tell you might be right. And he would think about it. But at the end of the day, these guys know what they're doing. And it's got to be a negative. He's had him on him for a reason.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan. I think the horse that's a little bit lost in the shuffle here and maybe needs one. Rail and Roll is a pretty good horse. It's the other McPeak. How many times have we seen this before? He's run some big races at Churchill. I guess because he's off the layoff and he's not taking a ton of money. He's probably not live here, but if Rail and Roll wins this race, would I fall over in shock? I wouldn't.
Yeah, I completely agree. Rattle and Roll on his best day, I think, definitely factors in a race like this. It's just a matter of if he's really ready to go in this spot here, which remains to be seen. But no, you absolutely are correct in that statement that he's getting a bit overlooked. A horse that I think would factor into the tries, who I want to try and key in, is the number 1 Willie Dees. Again, I think he's going to try and go out to the lead, and if for some reason Prince of Power either goes off and clears or doesn't, press him early, I think there's certainly a chance that Willie Dees hangs around late to round out some of those trifectas. So that's one I'll probably use somewhere in there. Does anybody give any serious look to Hit Show in a spot like this?
That's who I thought you were going to say when someone just said something about not enough love being given to someone.
Post time in a minute.
That's where I thought you guys were going, and that one wouldn't shock me at all. That's just a very on again, off again horse. It feels like.
Definitely.
You guys heard the sound there? You guys heard Travis there?
Yes,
I did.
Okay.
Definitely an on again, off again, and
we're going to go right to Santa Anita, by the way, after this race.
And the horses have reached the starting gate.
Mile.
It's post time.
By the way, let's all tip our cap and have a beverage for D. Wayne, man. This is the Lucas Classic. We miss D. Wayne. What an incredible horseman and guy. So Noah's got the mystery. No matter who wins, hats off, D. Wayne. We love you, buddy.
Waiting for Rattle and Roll, Disarm, and Banishing. They're in the gate.
Most important thing.
And they're off. Mystic Dan broke right out on top. Prince of Power with some speed, and Willie Dees toward the inside, and Banishing from the far outside races up as well. Circuit to go. Willie Dees leads the way. Willie Dees in front, long shot. Prince of Power pressing second, angles a bit off the rail to trying back off of Willie Dees. Banishing on the outside, racing third. Mystic Dan over to the inside, fourth. Disarm follows him in fifth, 2.5 back. Hit Show sixth. And Rattle and Roll is the trailer in seventh, and already 9 lengths off the lead as they turn to the backstretch run after an opening quarter and a solid 23 and 2/5 seconds. Willie Dees heads down the backstretch, the leader. Prince of Power still tracking in second. Banishing still in the clear while third. Mystic Dan is still covered up down inside fourth, just 2.5, maybe 3 lengths off of Willie Dees. And then it's Disarm tracking him. Hit Show's at the back with Rattle and Roll. The opening half and 47 and 2. They're on the far turn.
Horse are going to back up right in.
Where's it going to go?
Now, Prince of Power ratchets it up. Banishing 3 wide. Disarm launching a 4 wide rally. Hit Show's coming from the back of the pack. And the Derby winner is stuck in behind a wall of horses. 5th off the turn at the top of the stretch. Disarm powers up to grab the lead. Banishing trying to hang tough. Mystic Dan in so tight. Bounced around but still trying. Hit Show coming down the center. Disarm in front. Mystic Dan.
Come on, Mystic.
Here comes Mystic Dan.
Come on,
once
Mystic
again,
Dan.
off the rail. And once again, a winner at Churchill. Mystic Dan comes some trouble in this stretch to beat Disarm on the wire.
Thought Arietta did a good job not panicking.
Yep.
Was that we got to go to Santa Anita? No, we'll talk in a minute. But was that deja vu? Ouch! That looked coming up the rail, getting through. That looked
Santa Anita.
That looked very much unfamiliar, unfortunately. Anyway, let's go to Santa Anita here real quick. Here, I'll get up on screen.
They move into the first turn, and Zio Joe sets the tempo, leads at 3/4 of a length to Final Boss. 2 more, Cabo Spirit, now 3.5, 4 off the pace in third. Johannes is in fourth, under a nice hold at this stage, followed by Scooby Quando, and Almendaris is just outside of him. 6 lengths covers the field. It's Zio Joe and Final Boss 1-2 toward the half-mile pole. Cabo Spirit remains in third. Johannes on the outside. Scooby Quando just inside of him. And Almendaris has trailed throughout. Moving into the far turn. Zio Joe, hounded comfortably by Final Boss, who's poised on the outside. Cabo Spirit making his move 3 deep. There goes Cabo Spirit now, forcing the hand of Final Boss as they move around the far turn, and Cabo Spirit is the new leader in the City of Hope Mile. Final Boss in between horses. Zio Joe. Johannes is in for it, swinging to the outside there at the top of the stretch. Zio Joe fights back. Final Boss. Johannes cut loose in the center of the course, and Cabo Spirit still running a big race, but it's Johannes handled, and he storms to the front for a back-to-back score in the City of Hope Mile. Johannes is back home and back on top.
Ocho for Ocho.
Spirit and a close.
That was not his best effort.
It's just huge.
No.
I mean, he wasn't even fully cranked. It didn't look like. He's just terrific. God.
He's just
Chris, that felt a little workmanlike. I would have liked to see an explosion. I sort of agree with you.
He is a terrific horse. I thought he was a serious contender last year, even against the Euros. Now, maybe this is a fluke. He did make some kind of awkward move. They're about mid-turn, out 3 wide. They were kind of fighting each other a little bit. But that horse did not fully extend and run off like he normally does. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's not the same performance I've seen in the past over that surface by that horse.
I agree.
I
but
tend to agree with Chris on this one.
I 100% agree.
As a fan, I was wanting to see that. I was wanting to see that, woof.
I definitely don't. I don't think he was anywhere close to cranked up. I wonder where they go from here. I mean, obviously, I think the campaign started a little late with him going out to Saratoga this summer, and he didn't run great. He had some trouble in there, kind of clipped heels there, but that had to be a bid for Turf Horse of the Year type of thing. You had to go get out of state and go try some things that didn't work out. Come back home, you hit a little late season reset button. I have every reason to believe this horse will probably be in the Breeders' Cup Turf Mile again and try and get the score. He ran a good second last year when losing to a horse whose name is escaping me. But I think he can certainly step back up. That was a Cherie DeVoe horse.
More than
looks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I probably Noah ready? Can Noah hear us? Noah, if you can hear us, you can pop back on. I want to hear, before we get to Belmont, we should talk to Noah about the win by Mystic Dan there. We got Gatekeeper in the chat while we're waiting.
Is that Noah?
That's advice. Put a double on Johannes in the next. I'm looking for prices. Noah, I don't know how you felt, but I had a little weird deja vu, strange feeling as Mystic Dan was able to find room up the rail and win a big race. I got to tell you, I had a little bit of a queasy feeling, but you got to give Arietta a ton of credit, Noah, because there was a wall. He saved ground all the way, very much like Brian Hernandez would have. Found room when it mattered and disarm is disarm. You're muted, Noah.
Am I crazy to say that if Brian was on today, he would have won by more?
No.
Would have won by more?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know what could have Arietta done differently.
I thought he was going to follow Vanishing.
He would have wide?
He would have followed Vanishing. I think he would have won by 2.5, and he wouldn't have sled it.
Fair enough.
I don't know that Mystic Dan isn't a better horse when he's like glued down to the rail on the inside. I think it almost looks like it energizes him a little bit. Could be.
I mean, regardless, you got to give him credit. He ran his tail off. Didn't have things his way. Sounds like the turf was not a great option because he came back and I thought he fired big. Disarm ran big. He was wide. Vanishing kind of moved a little bit early. I think the top three kind of ran their race, but Mystic Dan was just best today.
I actually like what disarm. Who was Ryan disarm there?
That was Irad Ortiz. Who else? Yeah, I don't think Irad made a perfect move. Irad had disarm a lot closer today in a pace that was quicker. He got the jump on everybody. I mean, Irad did everything right. I don't think there was anything wrong with what he did. Mystic Dan was a better horse today.
I love the aggression there, Matt, making a 4-wide move and making the inside horses have to wait and taking it to him. It didn't work out because disarm is disarm, but that's not the jockey fault. I actually love that move, Chris and Matt.
I thought it was a great move. And to the discussion we had before the race about Kenny McPeak and jockey instructions, I mean, I think if you weren't looking carefully, that would have been Brian Hernandez on the horse. It was the same ride. And we were all sitting there thinking the same thing, which is, well, that's what you get when you stay to the inside too long. You might not get, well, he got out, and good on them. But I honestly, and it's not like an I told you so, but I do believe when you're looking at the highest quality jockeys out there, they're very capable of taking instructions, especially when they're loyal to a trainer and that kind of stuff. And yeah, he ran a great race.
While we're got a few minutes till the next race at Belmont and the Big A, and we will get out there shortly. Our own Jackson Muniz is now in second in the Churchill Downs tourney after huge all-in doubles to Mystic Dan there.
Wow.
In second with one race to go. So you love to see it. I hope he continues to see this one out with a lot of seats on the line in that one.
He's
Is that for what's on the line for that, Matt? Which
4 total seats, 2 KDBC, 2 BCBC.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's in good shape. Somebody's going to come get him in a tough race.
Yeah.
And I went to the top of the leaderboard in the cash contest, which is nothing compared to a BCBC.
Oh, congrats.
Hey, congrats,
let's give. So Noah's gonna get going here in a minute. Any final thoughts, Noah, on the day, that particular race in general? Any final thoughts on the Lucas Classic?
No, it was a great day. Do you guys not care about the last race?
No, you're welcome to stay on. I didn't know what your schedule was.
Oh, okay. No, I can go back and give you guys some time. Before I go, did it run 3-6 at Santa Anita?
I believe
Did
so.
Cabo
Yes.
hold on for a second? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
And we're talking about that trip. I know it was a turf sprint to a dirt route, but we're not down on Manny about what happened to him. He got in there, he saved ground, he didn't get a lane. The same thing could have happened to Arrieta there, but it didn't. He got the lane. The horse was best. He come through. I'm good with that.
It's a risk you take, and you get the benefit from it sometimes, and you get stuck sometimes.
And the man on the screen at Churchill, if you don't save ground, he will yank your ass, and you will not ride for him. I promise you. He's nice about it, and he'll give you a warning. But if you're wide every trip, you will not ride his horses.
All right, we are 1 minute to post.
Here.
Yep, 1 minute to post. Your current favorite,
11.
I believe, is who, Howard?
It is the number 2 for Chad. I think it's Retouch.
Oh,
I gotta get the name again here.
That is value everywhere else then.
Retouch is 5-2. General Jim is 7-2. Dear Dad, who I hate to even say this, but we do not have in the pick 6, is taking a little bit of scary money for my liking at 9-2. Exact estimate is 5-1. Victory Way is 7-1. So we have a lot of horses in this race. We do not have the 7.
And
so I sort of agree with Tony a little bit here. If the 12 can sit off the 10 and not be very wide on the first turn, he's got some turf breeding, and I have way too much respect for these connections to think this 12 can't run on the turf. This is a tough spot, though. But again, if the 12 can get position early, I think he's interesting. Chris, it sounds like you disagree with that.
Well, I was just going to bring up the point of me spreading my money out like with your tickets, because you like the 5 here obviously a lot. I didn't use the 5 anywhere. I don't like the 5 at all. I had singled the 9 on my ticket, and the 2 was my other B.
Real quick, as they're loading in, the 5 is a substantial favorite in the pick 3s.
Verdict.
Really?
Correct, but not in this race, which is interesting. The chat is 5-2.
Rude.
Here we go, guys. Big race for the pick 6. Good luck to everyone.
Good luck, Howard.
Way to the outside.
Thank you. Good luck to all of us.
Yeah, and obviously I want the 5.
Who else am I rooting for besides the 5?
We have 2, 4, 5, 9, 12.
Now.
I'm rooting for the 5.
Oh, I just lost the sound again. Did you do something there?
No,
Ryan?
I didn't. No.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
Here, I can get the.
That was so weird. Something just flicked off. Gosh darn it. You got it up, Ryan?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Well, I'll call this race for you.
We apologize, everyone.
Okay, the horse Howard's afraid of, Dear Dad, goes right to the lead at 5-1, followed by the 10, the 12, and the 6.
On it.
We're still working on it because my call is not cutting it clearly.
I'll add the 9s in a mess out wide with his head thrown up in there running away.
It'll be Rube. Second to last is going to be highest.
Got to take off.
Trailer.
There we
Here we
go.
go.
That's
Yep,
Churchill.
yep.
23.64 for the opening
Can we
quarter
hear it?
mile. The leader is Dear Dad. Dear
How
Dad
does the
is
7 get
well
loose
clear.
with the 10 and the
Still
12
up
in
by
this
about
race? What
2.
the hell?
Them behind them. That's
Jesus.
final verdict. Also,
That's
Judge
a nice
Davis,
horse, too.
Second and third, and 48.53 for a half mile time. Victory Way is a comfortable 4.
I will say the 2 is
At the
getting
rail.
cover today,
Columbia-
which it
Columbia
did not
Pratt
get in its
in the
U.S.
spot.
debut.
Here comes exact estimate towards the outside. Starts to run. Dear Dad is still the leader. Final verdict continues to chase it. Here comes final verdict towards the outside. Judge Davis is following that move as it's still Dear Dad trying to take him all the way. Dear Dad is in front. Final verdict is in full pursuit. Here comes Judge Davis towards the outside. They're all rallying on in behind the new leader in final verdict. Court's in session, though. Here comes Judge Davis to final verdict and not out of it yet. Here comes Dear Dad fighting back on the inside, but give it to Judge Davis. That's your winner. Dear Dad did come back and get second. Then came final verdict.
No, we don't have that one.
Well, I didn't give that horse any shot in hell, so.
Nope.
I don't understand. The 10 and the 12 were lone speed in this race on paper, and neither one of them, we didn't see the start, so I apologize to everyone. But
we have seen this in New York repeatedly.
I don't know if they didn't break or I know Michael Maker's stats off the claim in these situations stretching out are bad. I know that for sure. All right.
Yeah, that you're totally on board there, Howard. I know a lot of them grabbed early, and it just kind of become a little bit of a mess.
It all clunked together at the end. The 2 and 5 were coming, but I mean, they went 23 and 48 and 2, 23 and 3 and 48 and 2. Take a look at the PPs of the 10 and the 12, guys. I'm watching the break now. They both broke fine.
Yeah, it was just a New York race where neither went to the lead. Or neither wanted to go forward.
How do they expect to win that race if they're not going to send from the outside?
Well, Dylan has quit being aggressive for whatever reason, and that's hurt his riding.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't
he was
know.
relatively up close. Junior was too far back.
And besides Santana being on the 7, I wouldn't have bet that horse would have had the lead for no way.
Yeah.
I don't like that
I would have
horse
thought
at
for
all.
sure.
I have no regrets. It was
Final
12
verdict,
to 1,
there's
5
no
to 1,
excuse. Yeah.
12 to 1, 5 to 1, 20 to 1, 23 to 1. And you
It
know
was
what?
one of those
I'm gonna it's laughable, but it's not. We basically had 5 horses. We had 5 horses in the pick 6. They didn't come in the top 4.
I'm gonna my honest thoughts real quick is I know you had two or three tickets a lot. There's a chance if you guys use long shots in any of those tickets that there are 5 of 6 in the last race because this has been it was not the biggest pool. It was not the biggest pool for a double.
There's absolutely no way, Ryan.
You
It started 5 to 2, even money 5 to 2.
Oh,
There's
it did.
no way.
You're right. I thought it.
Now we do have a lot of consolations potentially, but I don't play these for consolations.
So
we don't.
Right.
Matt, at Churchill, we've got a maiden special weight with a lot of unknown information. I'll just bet my minimum and make them come get me, right?
I think so. I mean, so let me look at this. I'm looking at the other tournament for Jackson right now, and I'm going to have to give him a call in a minute.
I think he's going to be in the same boat as me, but he's got a lot more at risk. I would love to see Jackson get an entry into one of these.
That'd be awesome.
Especially because he'll be on site for the Breeders' Cup, so I hope he's able to get one and get that seat.
By the way, I know people are going to. Sorry, that was me. Hold on a second. I know people are going to say something negative, but I believe in Timeform US a lot. Timeform's helped me tremendously in the last 5 or 6 years, guys. Not only with pace situation, but also with how fast horses are in general. This was their pace projector, and I don't disagree with it. They had this as a fast pace with the 10 and 12 in front, and the 9 closer up too, and the 7 walked the dog on the lead. I mean, when those scenarios happen, gentlemen, I'm in trouble. And it's not like I had all closers in that race either. I had the 9, I had the 12, who I thought would be up close. Just didn't work out. All right. Well, this pick 6 is going to pay pretty nice now, I think.
I don't want to give somebody out there a horse to beat us, but the 9 at 27 to 1 at Churchill is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm pulling up the past performances now so we can.
We got a 3 to 5, Matt. So
Oh yeah.
if people play doubles into the 3 to 5, that's not going to pay much. I'm talking about contest conversation now. So
The double, I believe, I played a double into. Yeah, thank you.
What does it pay?
557. All right, so here's my recommendation to Chris, and then I got to give our buddy Jackson a call. Chris, for where you sit, I'm looking at the behaviors of the people behind you, and I am not seeing evidence of people that are going to bet all in to win on a 3 to 5 shot. These just
and a 2-year-old maiden.
These just don't. I mean, I'm looking at $20, $5, $8 bets, $2 bets. None of these people are behaving in a way that suggests they're going to take $428 and bet it to win on a 3 to 5 shot. So my gut tells me they're either playing exactas and tries or they're playing other horses. If I were you, it's so top heavy. I definitely would not bet myself out of position. I would probably bet 2 $15 exactas or 2 $10 exactas using that favorite with the top 2 horses you like for second. I don't think you're betting yourself out of position at that point, and you might advance nicely if you catch it.
That's a good point. That's what I'll do. And
you're good on that'll cover minimums and shit too, right? You're already good on that.
Oh yeah, I'm good there.
Okay.
So yeah, call Jackson. I'm excited for him. I'm way more excited for him than I am about winning $400.
Yeah, definitely for him. All right, give me a minute. I'm gonna. I'll be back.
All right. I will throw the past performances up here for Churchill, and there is a horse that I think is going to be that I'm going to play some exactas with underneath that I think is interesting. But we'll go through the field real quick. We'll start down on the rail. Justifiable Steel debuted at Indianapolis, going 7.5 on the turf. Had the lead there. Now switches to dirt. We know the Justifies have typically been better on the turf, but he can throw runners either way. Next, we'll go to Sway House, Dale Roman, second time starter by Volatile. This one certainly was not professional on debut. Pretty slow out of the gate, kind of lagged around there, and they see fit to step this horse up in class. Was not in for the tag last time as she fit the maiden optional claiming conditions. This one's taking a little bit of money now at 9-2. Your really heavy favorite, and rightfully so, is the number 3 Revel Toast. On top of the fact you get Tom Amos with the McLean's Music 2-year-old, you get Irad Ortiz, who I believe has 3 wins today, if I do my counting right, perhaps somewhere around that. On top of that, you go from a jockey upgrade, Lane Luzzy, to Irad Ortiz, and that in itself is spectacular. Next out, you go to Nanzig, who I would have thought would be like a full to Danzig candy or something like that. But Nanzig in here after the maiden optional claiming 4th place finish last time out. This one might factor in a little bit early with Walter Rodriguez in the saddle, but I can't see this one factoring towards the end. Tactical Command, the number 5, Nicole Triani for Francisco Arrieta, who just won the Lucas Classic. 2 back. That race was not terrible. That race was not awful by any means. I just don't know that it's going to factor a lot here. But by my standards, by an outwork mare, might be able to improve in this one's 4th career start after last racing at Kentucky Downs. Number 6, Lollipoppin', Chris Hartman, first time in the barn after a trainer switch from Bill Mott. Ben Curtis booked to ride Lollipoppin' here. First start with the trainer is a good angle for Chris Hartman. That's 20% with a $2 ROI over the last year. This one's by Munnings. Out of a congrats mare named Applauding, who won 3 of her 4 career starts. This one's thrown some runners, including Laughing Boy, who runs up north at Belmont at the Big A. Nolo Contesto, was a familiar name, along with some others. So at least you have some of that to look for in the winning family. And this one did get better from start 1 to start 2. Smoking Hot Stuff, number 7. This one's by Constitution. Leading rider Tyler Gaffleone is aboard for Robert Medina. Not great with his first-time starters. Maybe you want to watch one. The Dam hasn't produced any first-time out winners. The 8 Frosty Forever is the horse that I'm going to use underneath. Jordan Blair, who is a really nice, had a really nice Churchill Downs meet from limited starters, really strong going turf to dirt. And on top of that, I think last time they were just bag chasing at Kentucky Downs. This one, if we look on the dam side, Tattersall, she was pretty much all dirt. And then on top of that, all of her runners have been on the dirt. We can look at the siblings. Micah Licious, who was a dirt runner, happily delusional, who just ran in the Pennsylvania Derby as a half sibling. So I feel like dirt might be better. And I think with the stamina that you get from those mile races on debut, maybe that's going to have this one factor in underneath. I like the fact that she came out of that effort to work really sharply on September the 16th, going 47 and change, which is second best of 33 in the morning. So she came out of that race in good order. Next, we have the 9 Firebird Suite, who Chris Couples mentioned is way too big of a price. This one's by Silver State out of a Birdstone mare. Tommy Drury, very capable with his 2-year-old first-time starters, as you can see from the stats down below for DRF. So this is one that might be able to factor as well. And lastly, you have Sister Wife. That's a pretty funny name. This one's by Code of Honor out of another Birdstone mare. This one trained by Thomas Van Berg, ridden by Edgar Morales from the outside. Not strong numbers with Van Berg for first-time starters, but very limited sample size. This one's dam produced 1 first-time out winner from 4 starters, and that one was a 2-year-old. But you have some varied runners in here, and at least you can see that the dam has produced. So that is your field for the nightcap at Churchill Downs with something like 5 minutes to post.
Yeah, I'm still shocked at the price on the 9, which is a 2-year-old race. It's, usually a bad sign when they're not taking any money. But Drury's 23%, first time dirt sprinting with maiden specials, 47% in the money. This thing had 2 decent gate works I watched under a stranglehold the whole time. Just dominated his mates. There's nothing negative. I know this looked like a nice horse until maybe this is too short, and maybe they know that.
Yeah, certainly could be. It could be distance limitations here as we're going the flat 6 furlongs. So 6.5, 7, you can maybe stretch it out. Howard, any thoughts here in the last at Churchill?
I do not. I was just looking at a few things that Belmont pick 6 pays pretty healthy. I think the smallest was around 12 grand. We are live to plenty of 5 out of 6s. I didn't really look at the Churchill race, to be honest, but I wish a lot of success and luck to Jackson trying to get that BC seat. I will say for those of you watching and listening, we have hundreds of people. Thank you very much. We're going to show the last race at Churchill. And then there's 7 minutes to the first leg of the pick 6 at Santa Anita. So race 5 at Santa Anita will be our last race that we will listen to. Thanks everyone for listening and watching today. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely, we do. Thank you, Howard. All right, we have again about 2 minutes to post is what I'm showing. I'll get the audio queued up for Churchill here as they are probably getting ready to approach the gate. Chris,
production meeting Ryan. We both can't be have stuff on the stage. I think that's what happened. I think you were bringing on something and it automatically took mine off for the Belmont race. I think that's what happened there. So just for our future knowledge for you and I.
Good to know. Thank you. All right. We have, I will continue to work on pulling up the audio for Churchill Downs as we're getting close to the gate. And then Howard, are we going? Oh, okay. So I see 7 minutes till the next at Santa Anita. And then we have 13 until the next at Belmont. So that's plenty of, so we'll wrap up after Santa Anita.
Yeah.
Carryover at Santa Anita should be worth mentioning as well.
Right. Yeah, there's a small carryover there. Terry, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it as always. Again, a lot of people watching and listening. Really do appreciate it. We've got live show, and I will be in the paddock and winner's circle at Keeneland, along with Ryan and Jackson and Noah, a whole group of us. We'll figure out who's going to actually be in studio, so to speak, Ryan hosting and co-hosting. We'll need some help with that. Attention, Chris, on that. But anyway,
I'm going to be there heckling you in the paddock. So.
Oh, well, that's a problem. All right. Well, Oh, you'll be there next week, Chris. Is that right?
Yeah, me and the wife's gonna make both the next 2 weekends.
Oh, great. Well, let's bring
Looks
Matt
like
Miller back
Matt-
on, who's done
Yep.
conversating with. I know he's not going to give away their secrets, but go ahead, Matt.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep.
This is hard. I mean, so look at the spot that Jackson's in. I'm assuming you're calling on me for that at this point. So
Yeah, we can show the leaderboard, Ryan. You want to get it up?
He's sitting in
Yep.
second place. The top 2 spots pay BCBC, or just at this point, just trust me, everyone. You can monetize these things. It's 10 grand. And third and fourth place pay Kentucky Derby seats, which are 5 grand. And you can get people to buy it. So they're playing for a $10,000 prize for first and second, or $5,000 for third and fourth. And they built up a balance of like 4 grand already. That's their money. So the question is, do you try to beat the guy in first? Do you try to protect against the guy in third and fourth? What about the crazies in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th that have nothing to lose but to fire at you? The advice I gave him, which I'm going to slowly say so as not to divulge too early, you don't want to bet yourself out of position in these spots. And so my advice was not.
You got the sound, Ryan? We're about to go off, Matt.
I'm just letting Matt finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, we need the sound. Go ahead. Matt's got
They're in the gate.
You got the sound?
They bet a
And
couple
they're
of
off.
tackles.
What do you bet? What do we
Good
need?
start for Danzig, and so too Revel Toast. Two of them
couple
out
of
there together.
exactas with the favorite.
Volley Poppin'. Just to their
30
outside
more
third
dollars.
is Justifiable Steel. Races up into fourth. Swayhouse between them fifth. A break of 2.5 lengths back. Frosty Forever is now 6th. Smoking Hot Stuff up into 7th at the command. Retreating 8th. Firebird Sweet 9th. Sister Wife 10th and last. Far turn run. Big long shot. Nanzig.
Good.
Fires off a quarter in 22 and 2 and leads by 2. But Revel Toast is in pursuit and is inching forward now. And here she comes. Revel Toast sidles up alongside of Nanzig and willingly and easily goes right on by. Revel Toast, the one to catch now. Swayhouse tries to muster up a rally, goes a little bit wide off the turn. Frosty Forever on the far outside, in with a shot as well. They're heading for the 8th pole.
Come on,
Revel
Iraq.
Toast is shaken up, 2.5 length lead. Swayhouse continues to make progress. Is a clear second. Farther back, Smoking Hot Stuff.
this is
Final
one of his
16th.
exactas.
Revel Toast is holding on to the lead, and she will do it. Revel Toast is a 3-length winner on the wire.
7, 8,
Swayhouse
4.
was second. Smoking Hot.
And Matt knows this about me, but guess what contest I'm going to be hitting refresh on? Not mine.
Jackson's. Yep. In fact, we can all watch along.
The good news, I'm assuming, Matt, is he has it, and it's chalk, so it's not going to pay a lot. The bad news is that's an easy exacta for people to absolutely pound. I don't know how aggressive Jackson was.
Correct. And he was not aggressive, at lightning speed. And look, I've got pretty much a dossier on just about every single one of these players at Twin Spires at this point. So I went through with him and talked about every player behind him and what they're likely to do. Keep in mind that at 3 to 5, Jackson's at 4,100, and someone at 2,200 can't just bet the horse all in to win. It's not enough money. And so there were only 2 people in a position to bet the horse to win that way, one of whom I predict did. We'll see. Steven Zare is a pretty aggressive player at times. I don't think the guy in third did. And so we backed the way I gave the recommendation for what to do was you don't want to bet yourself out of position. So if you lose, you don't want to now be in third if the guy did nothing behind you. And so bet enough to try to pass the guy in first, but don't bet so much that you fall behind the guy in third. I am assuming, I don't know what the payouts were exactly, but they Dutched, I think, about 120 or 140 bucks worth of bets. And okay, I'm going to assume they're going to pass the guy in first. The question is, how many people pass him? with that really obvious exacta. I don't know. Was that race 10, by the way?
That was race
11. No,
11.
race 11. So something you said earlier, Matt, you're not saying you look at these leaderboards even when you're not playing and study what happens, do you?
I don't have to.
Matt, what about people that crush the duck?
I've played in enough of these that I know what people are going to do before they do. It's these patterns of behavior are very, very predictable, and that doesn't make me smart. I'm just paying attention. That's
It's just there. And and the information is there for everybody.
Matt, what about people that could have crushed the double?
I don't know if they would have thought it was enough. And I'm just telling you, looking at it's certainly possible. I mean, it's official now. This is going to make me crazy. Yeah. Just give me 2 seconds. I cannot stand what's about to happen with the reload. This makes me so nuts.
We're all clicking.
It's better on
refreshing
than any other platform in terms of getting to a final result.
Let's not spoil it. Anyone, let's wait to see what it says on the screen in case anyone looks at it beforehand. Let's all look at it together on the screen. Sorry, Matt. He needs top 4, top 2 for
make facial
BCBC, is that right?
Top 2 matters a ton.
What did he bet? What was the bet that he just hit on?
He bet $120 worth of exactas. And I told him I would split them up 80-40,
Okay. So he won a few $100 there. He won a few $100.
I am sure he passed the guy in first. I'm sure of it, unless that guy hit something also.
I see it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Jackson.
Got second.
That's awesome.
BCBC seed for Jackson. Woo!
Hell
wow,
yeah.
That was close. That
Well
was
done.
close, Matt. He only did it by $300, I think. Is that right?
God.
Wow, by $290. Jackson
That was a big
Muniz,
deal.
BCBC seat. Nice job, my friend. Way to go, Jackson.
Stevens
Wow,
went all in on the 3 there to get
I
first.
told you he was going to do that.
Oh yeah.
What did
He was going to do that.
what did Patrick do? Did he do nothing?
2 looks like exactas 2 with 3.
Wow.
Nailed it.
So if that guy who was in second played 3-2, he would have gotten a BCBC. Instead, he went 2-3.
Yeah.
You don't want to know what I just did.
Okay, don't tell us. Wow. Well, congrats to Jackson. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Santa Anita's going, by the way, about to go off. Last race
All right.
we're going to play. Go ahead, Ryan. They're not off yet.
All right. You got the audio going?
No, you do.
It's your share screen right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
My bad.
Army Man,
We're good?
Yep.
Okay, here we go, guys.
an American King.
Last
to
race
complete
we're
the
going to
line.
play. First leg of the pick 6 at Santa Anita, race 5. Good luck if you're playing today's carryover pick 6.
American King going in. In the gate. And they're off. Work is out very quickly. Providence came out okay, but is currently 4th as they run down the back stretch. So it's Work head and head with Army Man. Army Man puts his head in front, and now Providence glides through on the inside. And Providence is the new leader from Work. Army Man 3rd. Rio Grande not quick out of there, takes 4th. Plagiarist is in 5th, and American King at the back with a half mile to go. And it's the favorite Providence carding out the fractions, leads at 3/4 of a length. Work tries to apply some pressure 2nd. Army Man 3rd. Rio Grande tucked in neatly 4th, just 2 lengths off his stablemate. On the outside of them, Plagiarist has lost some ground, and American King continues to trail. Providence opening up now, coming to the quarter pole. It's a 2-length lead. Rio Grande moves comfortably into 2nd. On the outside, Army Man is in 3rd. Plagiarist trying to re-rally into it. They're at the top of the stretch. And Providence with a 3-length lead. In 2nd is Rio Grande.
5.
Plagiarist, who's trying his best, angling to the center of the racetrack. Providence with a 16th to go has a 3-4-length lead. And Providence, exuding class throughout, scores by 3. Plagiarist got up to complete the exacta. Rio Grande was 3rd.
So before we sign off, I'm going to go ahead and show how effing dumb I just was.
Don't do it.
Oh, yeah, I might as well. Well, those are good examples for everybody.
Well, before you do, let me say this. What Chris is about to tell everybody, I have told everybody in the world, happens to the best in the world. Hopefully not more than one fucking time, because it hurts, it's embarrassing, it's painful, it's unavoidable. It does happen. All right, just admit it and take your medicine and get it over
So
with.
you had to bet a minimum of 5 races, any amount, but you had to bet your bankroll of $70. I knew what the amount I needed, and I pushed the button and bet it. But I remember my browser freezing, and I closed it and logged back into Twin Spires. And the last $14 that I bet to meet my bet your entire bankroll was under the wrong account. So I just got disqualified with the winning total.
Oh.
Yes.
With the winning
Oh
total.
my God.
But
Sorry, Chris.
And it's
Sorry.
$568 is, that's not chump change, but every amount is different for everybody, and it
That's
happens.
gross.
But I'll be honest, Jackson winning that seat takes a lot of that frustration from me, because I've told this to Howard, I get pumped up when he does good, but when it's Jackson or Noah or somebody, it's even more.
Oh, yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
Now, am I pissed at myself? Yes. And when I go outside, not on YouTube, there's going to be lots of cursing. Probably throw a few things, slam a door or two. If there's a cat around, he's getting kicked.
I get it. It happens to everybody. And that's the number of people that come to me on Twitter saying, I thought you were so stupid when you said that would eventually happen to me. And then it did. It's like, right. It doesn't mean you're stupid. There's a lot to be paying attention to during these things. And
I have a rule. I double check these things. We're doing the show. We're watching all the races. I didn't double check it. Happens.
Sorry,
Chris.
It's not a big deal.
All right. Are we signing off?
I believe so.
We are going to sign off. Well, we got literally 1 minute to Belmont if we wanted to show the last race or play the last race for audio. We might as well, since we're here. You know what, Matt? It's awesome to see Jackson get a BCBC seat. I know. Now, what was that? The $1,000 buy-in today? Is that the big one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they won.
He qualified yesterday.
Okay. For someone to do it, what is he? 25, 26? Whatever old Jackson is.
24.
24. I know he's been chasing it. I know he's young, Matt, but he has been chasing that, as has Noah, for a little bit now, and it's just not easy to do. And look, it takes a lot of luck. It takes a lot of strategy.
It takes a lot of work.
I mean, if the guy in front of him went 3-2 instead of 2-3, we're not, he's not BCBC qualified. That doesn't take anything away from him at all. It just shows you how difficult these contests are and how much luck you need, going to that last race. But he put himself in that position, Matt, by singling Mystic Dan, who got through. I think he should send something to Mr. Arrieta, Matt, for that effort right there.
Really, or to the hospital for Brian Hernandez, or for all of the above.
One other thing about Jackson is the effort he puts in. I'm trying to look right here. He texted me at 5:44 this morning. It was 3:44 in California.
Yeah,
I got the same time. Well, he was up for the Ryder Cup, I think, but
he was up all night. He was texting me at like 11 p.m. last night because we were
Crazy.
talking about the late sequence at Churchill, and he texted Noah and I this morning saying like him and Mikey were struggling to agree on stuff, but they finally got on the same page late in the day, and I'm happy it all panned out.
Let's give him some additional credit and say he did a great job of doing this whole thing, and at the last minute said, forget who he called, it doesn't matter, but picked up the phone and said, I'm going to call someone for a second set of eyes on this. Am I thinking about this right? Would you, based on the prize pool, how are you thinking about that? Like, we all need that help from each other. And Chris, I'm not making fun of you or yelling at you, but if you had someone looking, someone might have seen you were missing a minimum.
And then there's other kind of help, like Brad texts me, hey, it happens. That makes it better,
Yeah. Yep.
Guys, we got the last race going to go off literally in 10 seconds. We'll finalize the show after the last race here at Belmont. Good luck if you're still alive in the Pick 6 maiden special weight filly 2-year-olds to close out the card at Baby Got Aqueduct.
Nice.
'Tis a smoke show.
The 4 was a price horse I kind of liked that I figured a lot ignored, but I like Mini.
The outside.
I bet
We
the
would have had
11
1, 3, 5, 11, 13, which I'm sure it's
Saturday
going to come
afternoon
in for
program.
sure now. 1, 3, 5,
Italian
11, 13 is who our group would have had.
goes in.
Or at the very least 3, 5, 11. Here we go.
And they're off. The inside is Hot Currency. Right out towards the front. Hot Currency now with a neck advantage. Let Me Count the Ways. Right up alongside, and here comes Liberty Secret is in gear. It's these three tightly bunched on the front end and dropping right in behind them. Perfect spot for Absolute Smoke. It's in fourth. Then it's about 5 lengths clear of the rest of the group. Just behind them at the rail is going to be Harpy, is joined by Bunko Di Cecilia. Trying to run on. There comes Great Happenings is in that grouping too. My Little Army
Very
Girl.
fast.
Back to the Smoke Show. Orange Silk. Second to last is going to be Morning Prayer in the trailer. No Need to Panic. It's 2 groups as they're well around the far turn, and they're flying up front. 21.61 for the opening quarter mile. The leader is Let Me Count the Ways.
The bomb
who's
7
in
is what
hand
caused
here.
this to
Let
happen.
Me Count the Ways. 44.31 now is cut loose, and Let Me Count the Ways is running them off their feet. It is Let Me Count the Ways. A final furlong to get is 6-7 lengths in front, approaching a final 16th.
How about those Yaupons?
The Ways.
That was impressive.
Let me count the ways. I can count one way.
That's the best.
No, that was very fast. Go early.
That was
Absolute Smoke for third.
that was quick.
He was
I
tired.
appreciate it, guys. I've had fun today.
I've had fun too. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Take care. We'll wrap it up with you off the air. Go ahead. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, that was 109 and 3 there to end the show. 109 and 3. That first time starter was extremely. We like to see the sources in some stake races over the winter at Aqua. That was impressive. Matt, this is the second week in the last 3 where we've had technically live winners of contests. I know Jackson was not on the screen, but he was on the screen in our heart and in our mind, and he's an HHH guy. So
That's right.
2 of the last 3 weeks we've had contest winners. Pretty cool for the group, and congrats to anyone who just cashed there at the end of Belmont.
Oh, look, there's a lot of mystery to how these things work, and what does it look like when someone puts together a winning tournament, and how does this go? I think it's cool as hell that we're able to come on here and talk about this stuff and what the thoughts are and the strategies are, and to be able to root for friends. And yeah, it's cool stuff. And even when you get knocked out, you can still get paid to not get knocked out, as we've talked about. So yeah, these contests provide for a lot of fun. Jackson's going to be through the moon for that Breeders' Cup. So
oh yeah, he sure is. If I'm not mistaken, a BCBCC gets you a ticket to the Breeders' Cup. So I no longer have to go get him a ticket. So that's
correct.
That's an easier job by me.
Correct.
No, that is it's incredible by him. So obviously I'm very happy for him, and yeah, he's got to be over the moon. So
And he can bring
we'll
a
see.
guest, Ryan, also, which apparently.
Oh, it's okay. I'll already be there.
Well, he can find. I'm sure.
He'll
I
bring
think he'll
someone,
find
Well,
someone to bring with him.
He had a partner today, and that partner was not me. I don't know if he's bringing that partner's just a different friend of his that I don't feel.
Oh, really?
To just
Okay.
say. But
Interesting.
it's not like a mysterious person, but for all I know, he's just bringing that person, and the two of them.
I imagine so.
So
I'd imagine so. We'll see. All right, I'll wrap us up here on the HHH Racing Podcast. Thanks everybody, all hundreds of you that have tuned in and watched. Be sure to subscribe to the HHH Power Picks if you haven't already, as they come up for Keeneland. Here, QR code up in the top right, somewhere right over there. Thank you, Tom Espinosa. Thanks everybody that was participating in the chat. We'll see you guys next weekend here on Weekend Warriors on the HHH Racing Podcast. I've been your host, Ryan. That's Howard. That's Matt. Peace.
If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing Podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.